Floresville, San Antonio's Sports Center.
It's finally here. It's draft day. The Cowboys hold the 12th overall pick, and the Texans hold the 25th overall pick. You can catch it all tonight right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, starting right after the Blitz at 6. In last night's Game 2 action, the Celtics take a series lead 2-0 with a win over the Magic, and the Cavs get the win over the Heat 121-112, and the Rockets take the win over the Warriors. I'm Vic Brown with 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, everybody. How we doing? Welcome in. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, and oh my,
Look who it is.
It's draft day. It's draft day.
Finally,
what a day. The countdown is over. Oh man, and guess who didn't show up for work today? Good old Robbie T. Mr. Thompson absent again. Even though it's less than 13 hours from the draft, he said, "No, Bubba, I'm taking the day off." So let's welcome in our special guest, Mr. Joe Reinagel. Joe, how are you? Good morning.
You know, those executives can just take the day off whenever they feel like it, I guess, right? I mean, if you're Rob Thompson, I'm Rob Thompson. I don't feel like working today.
I mean, that's your philosophy on life, isn't it?
Well, I get what I'm here at 6 a.m., dude. I don't have near as much pull.
That is true. Now, Joe, for those of you who don't know, Joe hosts a much less popular show than ours, lower ratings and things like that. So a lot of our audience may not be familiar with you, Joe. Tell the people a little bit about your background, because a lot of our audience probably has no idea who you are.
Well, I mean, that's why I relish the opportunity to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and be on with you this morning so I could introduce myself to everybody that doesn't listen to Jason and I on the Blitz at 2 o'clock. It's good to be here, man. I tell you what, I just once I wake up and the coffee kicks in, maybe I'll have something snappy to say. I don't know.
I like it. Wait, now, you were when you were the weatherman, did you have to wake up this early?
Never had to wake up this early. No.
Yeah, even in a violent storm, nothing.
Dude, I didn't even know what the world was like at this time of the morning. This is like unnatural. It's not. It's weird.
Now, tell me about this piece of art behind you. This looks like a. Is this a Monet? Is that what I'm looking at?
Looks like a poppy field.
You know, I worked really hard on this piece of art, AJ, and I tell you, it took me a while to get this thing done, but I think it's quite good. No, I don't know. It's some dude named James who did this.
Monet, I believe.
I have no idea who the hell that is, but.
Are those poppies? Is this
that a poppy field?
Yeah. Is this an ode to your heroin addiction?
Well, dude, I wish it was, because I would have shot up already and been ready for the show. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice little villa here and some farmland, and it's a dream of my retirement.
Did your wife pick this out, or did you?
No, my wife did, Maggie. I'm actually in her office this morning. So she's got an office. She works from home a couple of days a week. And so she was kind enough to let me invade her office this morning.
Does it smell good in there? Smell better than our studio?
Does. Smells, oh my gosh. Anything smells better than our studio.
Does she have a plug-in in there? Like a Glade plug-in or Febreze plug-in?
I was wondering where you were going with that, Vic.
That's a very personal question.
Where's your mind? Yeah.
That seemed a little personal, but yeah, I don't know. I don't see a plug-in
It probably
anywhere.
just smells of her hair and her must.
Very nice, yeah. And instead of you and Rob in the afternoon when I come in, your musk lingers.
Yes. Now your wife smells much better than Rob and I, and I'm sure better than Jason even.
There's no comparison. Yeah, Minix is a little ripe usually. You have to get over that. It takes about an hour to get used to it. But
I could imagine. Yeah. Now think about when he was a great big fat person, how much smellier he would have been.
Yeah,
fat people
knew Jason.
They can't really clean themselves, so they have to
It's all the creases you have to get under, and you just can't find them all.
I knew a guy once who was so fat he could not wipe his own ass, so he would use he would use a bath towel, and that's how he would clean himself.
Well, I mean, at least he figured out a way.
Do you think that was what Jason had to do, and he was a great big fatso?
I wouldn't be surprised. Because he was a pretty big dude.
That's repulsive, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Are you the one who shamed him into to losing this weight? Did you say, Jason, listen, man, you're never going to get laid like this. It's disgusting. You smell bad. Did you tell him these things?
Well, luckily for Minix, he was already married, and he snagged his wife when he was skinny. Then he got fat on her.
Oh, typical.
So she didn't. She was kind enough not to leave him.
She could have too.
She could have.
He put on a bunch of baby weight. That's like. You got rid of your wife when she gained a bunch of weight after the baby, right?
Well, I got rid of 2 of them, AJ, and so
because they gained weight.
The charm, yeah,
because they gained weight.
Had nothing to do with that.
Okay.
I mean, one of them was just kind of crazy. So I mean, it happens, and maybe I drove her that way. I don't know.
Crazy girls typically do stay skinny, though. That is the
that's true. Yeah,
you rarely see a big fat crazy girl.
It's because they run around, and pull their hair out, and yell at you and drive you crazy. So
crazy women almost have like it's like nature's cocaine. It's like they're always it's just always in them. I don't know how they do it. It's a great thing to be a crazy woman because I do think they're always full of energy, and it's usually rageful energy, but it does keep them thin, which is a nice side effect.
Well, AJ, I'm sure you know this, but all women are crazy. It's just some
it's a scale, a sliding scale.
Some of them handle it better than others.
And have you ever seen the XY axis where it's like the crazy to hot scale, and like usually the hotter they are, the crazier they are?
Yeah. That's typical. Yeah,
that's usually
typical.
the way it works. So if you can find a hot chick who's not super crazy, that's like that's a big deal.
Well, that's what I've got. That's 3rd time's the charm. So.
Nice job, man. Nice job. Well, she hasn't shown her craziness yet. And maybe if you better hope that if nature fades her looks, that she's still like it doesn't drive her crazy. That would be the worst thing.
Well, I figure nature is going to kill my looks too, so it doesn't really matter. And as long as she sticks around, I'm okay with it.
Well, Joe, I hate to break this to you. You're not looking like you should be on TV right now.
Well, dude, it's 6 o'clock in the morning, AJ.
Well, Vic and I are here looking our best. We're looking sharp. I mean, we did our makeup this morning and we're ready to go.
Yeah, dude, if you got makeup on, you need to put a little more on, okay? Because it didn't work.
A lot of the powder got in my beard for some. This is not my natural beard color. This is powder.
Yeah.
Well, Joe, thank you for getting up early and rocking with us today. I didn't want to do this by myself. I don't, Rob, he's constantly bailing on me. I mean, it's like, oh, my friend died. I have to go to the funeral, which I don't know if I buy this story. It sounds like this is like the 4th time his friends died since I've been working here. Like it just keeps happening.
Rob's got a lot of friends, you know?
Right, but it's always his best friend.
And
he's always got to go to the funeral. He's always got to be like the pallbearer. He's always got to give a speech, like the eulogy. I mean, it's starting to seem a little fishy that this guy is, getting all these bereavement days, and he never runs out of vacation. I think he's going to, he says he's going to Europe later this year.
It's a bottomless pit.
Yeah, him and Minix. I know what it's like because Minix almost never goes to work.
Yeah, Minix has got more vacation than any man I've ever known, and he's not afraid to take them. So
no, he's not. Now, when the ratings are in the tank, do you blame him for that?
Well, of course, it can't be my fault.
Exactly.
No, I do everything I can to hold that show up, and you got to drag him along.
I can see. I imagine your back hurts some days from carrying him.
Some days it does. Yeah. It's tough, but I manage.
Well, I'm glad that you're getting through. We have a fun show for you today, friends. We are going to. By the way, Joe, do you live very far away? You could not make it into the studio, huh?
I live a long way away, and the compromise to getting up at the crack of dawn. Actually, there's no sunlight yet, but to getting up this early was to please give me some equipment. I'll just plug in at the house, roll out of bed, and talk to you.
Now, do you live like in the same neighborhood as like Greg Popovich and Tim Duncan and those guys, or you live in a fancy pants part of town?
Not quite up to the Pop and Duncan level, but I live about 30 minutes away from the radio station, so would have been a long way. And for, listening to you and Rob in the morning, I hear there's a lot of creatures that are roaming around that area this time of day.
Well, normally our work cats are here, and this morning when I got here, normally when I open my car door, my best friend work cat, his name is Kitty Big Balls. He will normally run up to my car, or he's waiting in my parking spot.
Yeah, like a dog.
Yeah, he is very much like a dog, and he's very excited to see me. But today, he was nowhere to be seen. And I said, oh, no. Yesterday, remember, it was raining very hard in the morning, so he didn't show up yesterday. And I said, well, I hope nothing's happened to my friend Kitty Big Balls. And then I got out of my car and started walking up to the back door here, and a coyote ran off the porch. And it wasn't a very big one, but it was
just the point of it being
still a coyote hanging out on the porch where we feed the work cats. And as soon as he ran off, because he did not like it when I approached, he ran off like out towards the field. And then, sure enough, guess who comes running up is my old friend Kitty Big Balls. He's here, and he's like, hey, man, this stupid coyote came and ate the rest of my food. So if you got some more, that would be really cool of you to give me some more food. So of course we obliged, and hopefully he's not out there eating and being drug away by a coyote. That's
what I'm afraid of.
Well,
coyotes like big balls. I don't know. That's what I've heard.
Yeah, Kitty Big Balls. I don't know if you've seen this cat walking around, but his tail sticks straight up because there's nowhere else for it to go. He's got like plums hanging off. His tail can't go down. It's impossible. Physically
well, he's popular
impossible
with the ladies, I'm sure.
I think that he likes to make love to other cats, but because he's not very handsome, the other cats don't like it. They don't like his approach. He doesn't have a lot of game, so they usually beat his ass. So often he comes around, he's bloody, he's beat up because he's a lover, not a fighter. And when he tries to make love to these other cats, they fight him, and he's just not good at fighting back. So he gets his ass kicked quite a bit.
So let me get this straight. If he gets his ass kicked, is he trying to get with other male cats?
No, I think he's getting beat up by girls, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he is. I don't know if he's gay. And you know what? I'm one of these people. I'll be friends with him even if he is gay. I don't have a problem with that. Like,
I have no problem either.
Oh, you have gay friends?
I feel bad for him.
You have gay friends?
Well, sure.
Okay.
But
what are their names?
Well, AJ's one, and I just.
Well, there you have it.
People didn't know that, AJ. I'm sorry.
No. That was a secret between us, but that's all right. No big deal. No big deal.
Sorry.
I like to be very honest with my audience. I did once make a pass at Joe, and he pointed out that was not welcome. So, but now everyone knows, and no big deal. We remain friends, even though despite the rejection, our friendship remains intact.
Well, I mean, it was like the first time I met you, and I thought, geez, it's. Dude, I like you and I'm gonna give you a chance, but that wasn't part of your contract.
All right. Well, listen, man, we got a lot to get into today. We've got the NFL draft, which is 12 hours, 46 minutes, and 54 seconds away right now. I mean, this is very exciting times.
Oh yeah.
The Titans are on the clock. Although it appears Cam Ward is a minus 20,000. You have to bet $20,000 to win $100 if you think you think Cam Ward is going to be the first pick in the draft. It appears that is a very likely scenario. But we'll talk about who else might be taken early on, who might fall, who the Dallas Cowboys might take. And I want to talk to Joe because it's hard to talk to Rob and people like Jason Minix about the Dallas Cowboys because they are fanboys.
Yes.
But I want to talk to you as someone who I feel is a little more
open-minded.
No, a little more. He's just a little more subjective. Like he's got a better grasp on reality when it comes to the Cowboys. And I want to talk to Joe about what the Cowboys should be looking at in the draft, what could actually help that team, organization. Maybe we can take a look at the same thing with the Texans. We'll look at some of the guys who are rising, who are falling. We'll also look at the NBA playoffs. The NBA playoffs got a little more intriguing last night. The Rockets showed some life. They were poked with a stick and they woke up. The Rockets are awake and alive and in this thing. Unlike the Memphis Grizzlies, who look like they are a corpse on the side of the road. So we'll talk about that as well, including what's going on with Jimmy Butler. As it looks like he's now injured his pelvis.
He took a hard fall, man. That was awful.
I know. Would you have massaged his pelvis to make sure he could get back to health? You wouldn't. What's wrong with you, Vic?
I'm a Spurs fan.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Then. That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll talk about all those things and much, much more. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We'll start with some good news. Just cleared a stall at Loop 410 westbound at 35. We're starting to fill in and slow down a little bit now along 35 northeast side of town. Southbound from Judson Road on down to Wegener, and then 35 northbound, that connector to 1604. We've got some road work that's blocking the connector ramp. Now, if you guys see anything we're not talking about, call us on the traffic tip line so we can check it out. That number, 210-785-2601. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by True Green.
We're back in the miller's yard, who now use True Green. Their lawn started looking like a golf course, and PGA Tour golfers made it their favorite stop.
Get a PGA Tour quality lawn for as little as $1 a day at TrueGreen.com. Exclusions apply. See TrueGreen.com for details.
It's time for the herd you love. It's time for professional spring football. Your San Antonio Brahmas are back, bringing you more of the action, the celebration, and the unforgettable moments you love. Join us for the Viva Fiesta Viva Brahmas home opener this Sunday, April 27th at 2 p.m. Bring the energy to the Alamo Dome as your San Antonio Brahmas take on the Houston Roughnecks. Get your tickets today at UFLBrahmas.com. That's UFLBrahmas.com for tickets. Our town, our team, our herd.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-230-2777. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-230-2777. That's 800-230-2777 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. 800-230-2777.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
I don't understand the fetishes of the feet thing and all that. I don't get it.
So what is your line for weirdness?
My wife has really long hair and it smells good. That's nice.
What about her feet? Suck on her toes?
No, I don't suck on her toes. That's nasty. Nobody needs to be sucking on toes.
Well, there's the promo for the show this week.
Yeah. The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
Hunger striking, snack time calling, it's crunch time. Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds brings you the boldest protein-packed crunch you can't resist with mouth-watering flavors like hot honey, sweet barbecue, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Why settle for chips when you can level up your snacking game? Plus, they're low-carb, high-protein, and made for adventurous appetites. Score big flavor today. Grab Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds at H-E-B.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, I hear Staples prints it all.
Oh, you bet. Posters, banners.
Can you print it all for Mother's Day?
Oh, of course. Photo gifts like canvas prints, photo puzzles.
Can you print it all for graduation?
Sure can. Custom cards and invites.
Can you print a huge banner with the grad's picture?
Oh, definitely.
Even an embarrassing baby picture?
Oh, those are the best kind.
I know, right?
Print it all for moms and grads at Staples. And right now, get 40% off custom cards, invites, and photo gifts. N75 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's going to audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Joe, have you ever heard our show before?
In pieces. AJ, yeah.
One of the things that we have has really, been a catapult to our wild success has been me as a singer. A lot of people really like it when I sing songs.
Karaoke king.
So you may hear me sing a little bit today. I may serenade you, but
Feel free. I'm like a guest in your house, AJ, so you do whatever you do.
I need you to be very, very careful, though, very wary of this, because if I'm singing and your wife walks in the room and were to hear me singing, it could be very, very bad for your marriage.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's just a chance I'm going to have to take, I guess.
Rob has told his wife, listen, I don't want you listening to the radio show anymore, because if a married woman were to hear me, I can't be responsible for how these women act. Yeah. Okay. It's kind of like Elvis. I don't know if you've ever heard of this Elvis fellow, but there was a time in our country where Elvis was a very big star, and when he would sing, the ladies they would forget that they were married, and they would throw their panties at him, and basically give their bodies to him and forget about their husbands temporarily while they were around Elvis. Yeah. And this seems to be something that's happening with me. So I just want to be careful for the sake of our friendship. I don't want it to be awkward later on when one day when I'm not singing and we're all hanging out and your wife is around and she kind of forgets that I was the person who was singing that one time, but you, because you would have witnessed it, you would never forget what happened between us.
Well, see, here's where I'm not concerned, AJ, is because maybe the voice is like Elvis, but I'm sure the hips are not. And so, Elvis had that hip thrust thing going on, right. and I've never seen moves like that on you. I've never seen really. You're not a quick mover from what I've seen. So,
well, Joe,
I'm not concerned.
I mean, you remember we talked about it last segment. You passed up on my offer, and maybe you would know a little bit more. You know a little bit more about my thrusts,
and it's simply because of I didn't see the hip movement. So
okay.
I got to see them both at the same time, and I just didn't see that.
Fair enough. It is draft day, friends. 12 hours, 36 minutes, and 7 seconds away. Everyone is very excited. Everyone is fired up. Everyone has hope everyone has a glimmer of hope in their eyes that their team will get better today. And some teams like the Browns and the Jets, inevitably, it won't matter. It doesn't matter who gets taken today. Your team is still going to suck always because you're the Browns and the Jets. But for others, there is real hope. And, there may be a guy who could change the face of your franchise. Now, Joe, yesterday, Rob and I talked about this draft, and I'm not a big fan of any of these quarterbacks in this draft. I think they are all just kind of they're just kind of guys. And even Cam Ward, who looks like a lock to be the number one pick, I think he would have been the 6th or 7th quarterback taken in the draft last year. I think he would be a second rounder in most years. This year, he's the runaway number one pick. How do you feel about these players, these quarterbacks? Do you feel like if the Titans stay at 1 and take him, or whoever takes Shedeur Sanders, are these quarterbacks a reach in round 1 in your mind?
Oh, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. And I think Cam Ward is about he's the best of this quarterback draft. And I think the Titans have sold themselves on Cam Ward, and I think he will be the number one pick. But you see Shedeur Sanders falling down the draft ladder in most mock drafts. He's not. I don't think he's ready to be a quarterback day one. I'm not sure Cam Ward is ready to be an NFL quarterback day one. But and what I think, and Jason and I talked about this yesterday, AJ. I think a lot of these teams, like the Giants, like Cleveland, have gone out and gotten these veteran quarterbacks, and I think they're okay to kind of tread water this year, try to do the best that they can with these older quarterbacks, and wait for next year's draft. Now, it doesn't mean that they're not going to draft Shedeur Sanders and Dart and some of these guys, but I just don't think any of them are pinning their future on those two particular quarterbacks and the rest of them that are in this draft. I think they'll take a chance on them and have them in the fold in later rounds, but I don't think anybody's pinning their hopes to them. And I think that's why you're seeing Cleveland go back to a guy like Joe Flacco and Jameis Winston in with the New York Giants. The only team that really is desperate at this point in time is the Pittsburgh Steelers. They got Mason Rudolph. That's it. So but I don't think there's anybody in this draft that's going to help them this year at the quarterback position.
Well, and the Steelers are maybe the most interesting of the teams that you're talking about, because they're the one team that is seemingly, I don't know if they're in fact, I know they're not a Super Bowl contender, but they are at least a competitive playoff type franchise. Whereas the Giants or the Jets or the Browns, Titans, any of those crummy teams who take a quarterback that no one's expecting anything of them. But the Steelers, the rest of their roster says, hey, we should be at least in contention, at least a playoff team. Hell, they made the playoffs with Russell Wilson last year. So I something to be said for that. Do you think there's extra pressure on the Steelers to try and make something happen? And maybe that if a team is going to reach, that would be the team who would reach?
I don't think there's any question about it. They pick at 21, and I think Sanders will fall to them, and I think they might take him, but still, they're going to have to rely on a Mason Rudolph. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going there, and I don't think the guy wants to play anywhere. And what he's doing to the NFL right now is just ridiculous, and I wish he'd just go away somewhere. Having said that,
you think he just wants to sit around and do drugs and not play football anymore, and just bang his secret girlfriend and maybe hang out on Pat McAfee and make some money that way?
Well, I think that's part of it, but I think he likes the attention. Oh, where's Aaron Rodgers going to go? Is he going to go to Minnesota? Is he going to go to Pittsburgh? Where's Aaron? I think he likes the attention, but I think the guy's washed. I really do. And I don't think he belongs anywhere, and he certainly can't help the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, is Minnesota going to go with him? Who knows? But look, I think Kirk Cousins is going to get dealt somewhere, whether that's Pittsburgh or somewhere else. Look, Brock Purdy's name has been brought up as possible trade bait. So I think you're going to see some fireworks. You might not see them tonight, but you might see some over the weekend. And then after the draft, I could see some fireworks taking place there too. I just think that none of these quarterbacks that are in this draft, and the Titans are going to hope that Cam Ward is that guy because they are going to take him number one. But any of the other quarterbacks in this draft are not franchise savers, at least not first year in their NFL existence. It's going to take a while for all of them to get seasoned and cooked and ready to play.
Yeah, and I don't see a CJ Stroud or a Daniels.
No.
The last couple years have been. I mean, we've seen the two best rookie quarterback seasons of all time in back-to-back years. Something tells me that comes to a stop this year. All right. Let's take a quick break. We'll continue this conversation. It is the Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We'll start with some good news. Just cleared a stall at Loop 410 westbound at 35. We're starting to fill in and slow down a little bit now along 35 northeast side of town. Southbound from Judson Road on down to Weidner. And then 35 northbound, that connector to 1604. We've got some road work that's blocking the connector ramp. Now, if you guys see anything we're not talking about, call us on the traffic tip line so we can check it out. That number, 210-785-2601. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. Bring in the deals with fresh savings at Lowe's. Right now, get 4 Stay Green or Premium 2 cubic foot mulch bags for just $10. Lowe's, we help you save. While supplies last, selection and availability vary by location. Excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Offer valid 4/17/25 to 4/30/25.
Hi, everybody. Joe Reinagle here for the Golf Club of Texas. I absolutely love the Golf Club of Texas. They've made so many improvements to the golf course, from brand new cart paths to resodding the greens and fairways. You might think it's a private club, but it's not. It's open to the public 7 days a week. Best rates are always online at golfclubtexas.com. That's golfclubtexas.com. The Golf Club of Texas, you know where it is, right there off Briggs Ranch Road off Highway 90. The Golf Club of Texas is the friendliest golf course in Texas.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on Green Bay's team. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get your second month free for a limited time. You'll get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month. Here's Veronica and Jackie, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
And now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free when they use promo code SECONDFREE. Just call, click, or bring us your bill and see how much you can save. Because when it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and use code SECONDFREE to get a free second month. Real people pay to share their opinions, and this ad plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
When it comes to vaccines, it's important to get the facts. The City of San Antonio Metropolitan Health District understands that keeping your child safe is your top priority. Vaccines are safe and can help your child's immune system fight harmful germs. They protect against serious diseases and can even save lives. Because when it comes to your child's health, it's time to get real about vaccines and get the facts. Learn more at sa.gov/health. sa.gov/health.
Let's talk a little bit about Twin Peaks. Go celebrate the right way at the 4 locations surrounding our beautiful San Antonio. And have you ever had a Howler Head Banana Bourbon? Go bananas before the next round of the UFC fights with a Howler Head Banana Bourbon. Or maybe you're chasing some Cuervo. Kick the fight into gear with a fine tequila poured perfectly for you at Twin Peaks. Bud Light Ice Buckets and Happy Dad Buckets as Father's Day is just around the corner. The way to celebrate with friends of like mind. The food coming out of the kitchen is always scratch made, no matter the event, no matter the game, no matter the course, no matter where it is. You can always find it in one of the hundreds of TVs that you're going to see at every one of the Twin Peaks. You see, entertainment's a matter of degrees when you go over there. 360 degrees of TVs. 29-degree cold beer. Yes, that's why you go. The mixologists look as good as the drinks they're pouring. The eats are spectacular. The drinks are icy cold. But why do we go to Twin Peaks this easy? It's those scenic views.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be.
With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
This is Joe Reinagle. You're listening to the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, that's what people say. Joe, are you a Swiftie?
I'm not opposed to Swift.
It's catchy, isn't it?
Yes, it is catchy.
A lot of people are haters because they think they're supposed to be, but then they hear her, and she is the songbird of our generation.
You know, why do people hate successful people? Have you ever noticed that? You get really big and successful and you're a billionaire and you hang out with Travis Kelce and you're on TV on Chiefs games all the time and people hate you. I don't get it.
Well, she's singing about in this song. The hater's going to hate.
Right.
That's why you got to shake them off.
And I'm a Swiftie.
I am too, Joe. Look at us.
Yeah.
Look at us.
I'm not ashamed to admit it either, AJ.
Good. That's a man who's comfortable in his own skin.
Yep. That's right.
That's right.
Shake it off. Vic's a Swiftie.
Yeah.
Lightning on my feet.
Oh, God.
That's what people say.
Yeah, he knows the words to like every song there was made. So
all kinds of different but you have to admit, Vic, I know of
a variety,
like all different genres of songs.
Yeah.
I can sing Motley Crue. I can sing Wilson Phillips. I mean, I got it all, baby. I got a lot in my bag.
You got a lot of time on your hands, obviously.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Well, I live alone with just a cat, Joe. That's
well, there you go.
What do you think I do? Me and that cat just sit around listening to music all day. You know? The cat will be like, "Oh, let's listen to some Van Halen. Let's learn the words to Hot for Teacher." And I say, "Okay, cat, let's do it. Let's do it."
You are in
Blueberry.
trouble. We need to step in for you, apparently, if you're hearing cats' voices. Yeah.
Oh, also, Joe, I do a lot of hallucinogens. I do a lot of drugs. A lot of drugs. I'm like Aaron Rodgers.
That doesn't
ayahuasca.
surprise anybody.
Yeah, I really like drugs. So shake it off. Shake it off. Oh, Taylor, what a day. What a day.
What a day.
All right. You were saying that you could see a world where Shedeur Sanders falls. Let's see. Vic taught me a new trick today, so I'm going to try this trick.
Yeah.
All right.
Hold on. Let's see. Index. Look at me. Look at me figuring out our machine here.
Yeah.
All right. Peter Schrager was talking about Shedeur and the possibility of him falling in the draft.
I don't have a team for Shedeur right now. And you guys are talking about Pittsburgh. I think that would be a great fit for Shedeur. And I think 21's like the perfect spot if he slips. This could be a long night, and this could go into Friday. And that's not because we did this in the media. This is because there are 32 teams, and one of them has to pick him. And if that's the case at 3, awesome. Giants, awesome. At 9, Saints, great. 21, awesome. But let's not treat him like other prospects.
Yeah, Joe, were you able to hear that while you're there on the remote? Okay,
I did.
Would it surprise you if Shedeur Sanders was still around tomorrow?
It wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me at all. And again, look, if you're going to draft a quarterback in the first round, you're hoping that is going to be your franchise moving forward. He's your guy, and I'm just not convinced. And I don't think a lot of these NFL teams are convinced that Shedeur is their guy. And again, AJ, I think the biggest part of all of this is the fact that it's a horrible quarterback draft. And I don't think any franchise, any of these NFL teams want to hook themselves to any of these guys other than Cam Ward. Tennessee's going to do that. Long term, when you've got a much better quarterback draft projected for next year. And I just think a lot of teams are going to tread water and wait and see what happens.
he said something funny because we talked about it yesterday. He said, Peter Schrager said, reminder, it's not the media that's pushing this narrative. And, it's not the media isn't what's going to decide whether or not Shedeur Sanders goes in round 2. We talked yesterday about there was an anonymous NFL coach who said that Shedeur was the worst formal interview he's ever had. He said he's very entitled. And quite frankly, his film isn't that good. And then there were people who were saying that it's not fair for the media to run with those types of things. But he's right. Like Peter Schrager's right. The media is not going to decide whether or not NFL teams view Shedeur Sanders. Like if I say Shedeur Sanders is no good and an NFL GM thinks he is good, that NFL GM is not going to listen to some media guy.
No, they're not. And they don't give a damn. They want to win. So they're going to draft guys that they think give them the best opportunity to win. And let's face it, AJ, I mean, the NFL, honestly, over the last, I'll just use the last 10 years, it's not been the greatest judge of talent, right? I mean, when it comes to quarterback. Now, we've gotten lucky. The Texans got lucky with C.J. Stroud. You got the kid from Washington. I mean, there have been, but overall, it hasn't been a good track record for first-round draft picks when it comes to quarterback.
No, and often it's been the guy who was the home run number one ends up not being the best in the class. Like you could argue, Caleb Williams was behind. He was certainly behind Jaden Daniels. I think he's behind Drake May right now. I think he's arguably behind Bo Nix right now, and we haven't even seen J.J. McCarthy. And that was Caleb Williams was supposed to be like this home run, knock it out of the park draft pick. Before that, Bryce Young went before C.J. Stroud, and the Texans can say all they want that C.J. Stroud was their choice all along. It seems like pretty much everybody liked Bryce Young. All these teams seem to like Bryce Young, and Bryce Young is kind of just a guy. And if you go back to 2022, the only quarterback who went in round 1 was Kenny Pickett, and Kenny Pickett sucks. Even going back further to 2021 when Trevor Lawrence was supposed to be the mega, the can't miss. This guy is the next Joe Montana, John Elway wrapped into one. Trevor Lawrence is like a serviceable NFL quarterback. He's nothing special. And the guys who went after him, Zach Wilson, scrub. Trey Lance, scrub. Justin Fields, scrub. Mac Jones, scrub. Those are all first-round picks. I mean, it is you got to go back to 2020 when Joe Burrow went number 1. That's the last time that there was a guy who went number 1 that everyone agreed on that actually panned out. I don't know if I don't know what Cam Ward is. I think Cam Ward can be a good player. Do I think Cam Ward is going to be some kind of superstar? I really don't. This guy was a 0-star prospect. Like I don't think that was by accident. I think credit where it's due. He's worked his way into something much more than what he started as. But do I think that it all translates to the next level? I'm just not sure. And I don't think anybody can be sure because we've all been wrong before on these guys.
Absolutely. And again, that's what I'm saying. Teams are so desperate to find the next franchise quarterback that they're taking chances on some of these guys. I think what Cam Ward did, and he was smart about it. He looked at the quarterback class last year and who was coming out and got what people thought where he would go in the draft. And he said, that's not good enough. So he takes the money, he goes to Miami, and he plays well there. He comes out this year when the quarterback class sucks, basically, overall. And here he is, the number 1 pick in the draft. So I think in that respect, he played it perfectly for him. And in Tennessee's going to take him, and we'll see whether he turns out to be anything or not. But I think all of these quarterbacks, and you can go back to all the guys you just mentioned, AJ, I think all of these guys, they could be whatever they are in college, but you step up to the pros and try to be an NFL quarterback, and I think a lot of these guys need time behind veteran guys, and I think it helps them a lot. C.J. Stroud wasn't that way. He came out and played well. Jaden Daniels came out and set the world on fire. There are exceptions, but I think most of these guys need a year or two behind other guys to learn what it takes to be a quarterback in the NFL. And it's not a knock on those guys. It's just that's the way that it is.
Well, and more teams are taking chances, just hoping that they catch lightning in a bottle. They're taking a guy like Trey Lance or Anthony Richardson, guys who are not very accomplished at the college level, and saying, man, this athleticism could translate. Let's see if it works out. That seems to be kind of the new trend, and hope that you can develop this guy into something special. That just feels like, man, it like everybody who's hoping that that's the next Josh Allen. It's just such a crapshoot, and it seems like more often than not, it's not going to work. And hell, Josh Allen stunk for 2 years before he started to figure it out. It is not an easy thing to do, to find that diamond in the rough. Like it's almost like they're trying to reinvent the wheel, and just take the skill set that they want and hope that they can turn it into a quarterback, instead of taking quarterbacks that have appropriate NFL skill sets. All right, let's hit our last break of the hour. We'll come back. We'll keep talking this NFL draft. It is draft day, 12 hours, 15 minutes, and 21 seconds away. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
My name is John Clay Wolf. I'm the founder of GimmeTheVin.com. Every month, for the next 10 months, everyone that sells us their car to GimmeTheVin.com will get put in a drawing for a $25,000 winner. We're going to pull one of you out of a hat, and somebody's going to win 25 grand. So we're paying more, and you might win 25 grand. GiveMeTheVin.com. They don't call us America's best car buyer for nothing.
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, I hear Staples prints it all.
Oh, you bet. Posters, banners.
Can you print it all for Mother's Day?
Oh, of course. Photo gifts like canvas prints, photo puzzles.
Can you print it all for graduation?
Sure can. Custom cards and invites.
Can you print a huge banner with the grad's picture?
Oh, definitely.
Even an embarrassing baby picture?
Oh, those are the best kind.
I know, right?
Print it all for moms and grads at Staples. And right now, get 40% off custom cards, invites, and photo gifts. N75 exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Exclusive sponsor of Fiesta San Antonio, Gomez Law Firm encourages you to enjoy Fiesta responsibly. For more than 50 years, attorney Joe A. Gomez has been helping victims seriously injured in car and trucking accidents. If you've been injured in a car or trucking accident, hire personal injury attorney Joe Gomez. Born and raised right here in San Antonio. Visit joegomezlaw.com or call 210-736-4040 for a free consultation. Gomez Law fights. Gomez Law cares. Viva Fiesta.
Karbach Brewing was not born in San Antonio, Texas, but they have certainly gone out of their way to make San Antonio their second home. We had the head brewer come in, and he said when they first started to reach outside of Houston, San Antonio was the place they wanted to be, and does it show. Karbach beer is all over our great city, from their in-your-face flagship IPA, Hopadillo, to the Ziegenbach, to their best seller, the Love Street, their Kolsch-style blonde. There is something for everyone in Karbach's lineup, and it is all over the place. Of course, you're going to find it at the grocery stores. Of course, you're going to find it at the liquor stores, but it's also at a bunch of bars and restaurants around town. They wanted to make this their second home, and that's what it's become. So when you're out, you're watching the games at your local sports bar, your local restaurant, your local hangout, you're thinking, I want to elevate my beer game a little bit. Well, friend, wherever you're at, they probably have some Karbach either on tap or in cans. So when you're out and about doing your thing, go ahead and make sure to ask your bartender to please make it a Karbach.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news and stats to placing bets in just a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code JOEQ to get started today. That's JOEQ, Joe Q. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things. People. Love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MetaShare.
Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Take it easy, Vic.
Yeah. Old school there.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes we like to do it old school here.
Yeah.
Fog hat. What a name.
Right?
I'm in the mood. The rhythm is right. You know? Move to the music. We can roll all night. Sing it. Oh, yeah. What? The rhythm is right? Damn right it is.
It's always right.
Move to the music.
Dude.
We can roll all night.
I love that white guy move there. That was good, AJ.
I like to my best dance move is dancing like the
next.
I like to dance like the gopher on Caddyshack.
Yeah.
All right. We're talking NFL draft. It is NFL draft day. 12 hours, 9 minutes, and 26 seconds away from draft time. I mean, the clock keeps on ticking. Wheel in the sky keeps on turning. Some people would even say.
Yeah, they would.
And we know there's not a lot of drama with the first pick, but I do think we've been talking about the question marks about quarterbacks. How many of these guys are going to be taken? How many teams are willing to attach themselves to these quarterbacks? The one thing I will say, Joe, is it does seem the easiest way to get competitive in a hurry is to have a quarterback on his rookie deal who is serviceable. So I think we're seeing more and more, I don't want to say just throwing stuff at the wall, but they are kind of just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping one of these guys pans out. Like teams are willing to take more of a risk because if they do have a cheap quarterback, they end up being like the Commanders, for instance. They feel like we've got 4 years now where we've got a real window because Jaden Daniels isn't making $60 million a year yet. And until he does make $60 million a year, we can do everything we can to pile talent around this dude and have a chance to make something happen.
Dude, I would not be surprised if the Washington Commanders are playing in the Super Bowl in the next couple of years. And I mean that sincerely because of just what you said. C.J. Stroud, look at what the Houston Texans have been able to do. And he, getting as far as they did last year with the worst offensive line in the history of offensive lines, they were still able to move into the playoffs and have a pretty decent run. So I think they've got a real opportunity to get something done. When you look at teams like, the Dallas Cowboys, I don't see a window for them anytime soon because of what they did with Dak Prescott. And I've said it on the Blitz with Jason Minix. I think it's the worst mistake Jerry Jones ever made. And I mean that sincerely because you pay this guy, you're stuck with him now for 4 years, and you're having to just try and piecemeal a winning team together. And now you're the third best team in the NFC East. And it's tough to do. You've got to gymnastics of the salary cap and getting guys that you need to complement your team are just tough. Cincinnati is a great example. They've got the best offense in the NFL. I don't think there's any question about that with the worst defense. Joe Burrow's putting up 35 points a game and they lose 38-35. And it's just, it's difficult to do when you're paying guys the amount of money that they're commanding these days.
And they can't afford to keep Trey Hendrickson, who's their only good defensive player, is going to be out of town because they don't have the money to pay him. So when you have this open window, you got to take advantage of it. But that's why teams are willing to say, like, let's try something. Let's take our chances with a Cam Ward or a Shedeur Sanders or a Jackson Dart. One of the guys who's really interesting to me tonight or maybe tomorrow is Jalen Milroe, because I do think Jalen Milroe reminds me a lot of a quarterback who's currently in the NFL, and there may be some teams trying to copy what that team's doing. We'll talk about that next. It is the Morning Huddle with Joe Reinagle sitting in for Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas Injury Lawyers. This is KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Crispy chicken nuggets are back at Taco Bell. All white meat chicken, coated in tortilla chip breading, and paired with unique dipping sauces. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only, while supplies last. Contact store for availability.
Calling all snack MVPs, it's time to huddle up with Southern Recipe Small Batch Pork Rinds, the low-carb, high-protein snack with a flavor-packed crunch. From sea salt and cracked black pepper to hot honey, sweet barbecue, and more, these bold bites are ready to tackle your crunch time cravings. Find your flavor playbook at H-E-B and make every bite count, because when it's crunch time, there's only one snack you need on your team. Southern Recipe Small Batch.
Listen up, San Antonio. At University of Maryland Global Campus, you can get college credit for the stripes you've earned. Turn your military rank into college credit to save time and money on an online degree. Eligible enlisted service members and previously enlisted veterans may receive up to 12 credits for select undergraduate courses based on their rank, and up to 90 credits in total for prior learning, military experience, and training. Classes start soon. Learn more at umgc.edu/SATX.
Missions fans, level up your Tuesdays with AARP $2 Tuesdays at Wolf Stadium. Presented by San Antonio Sports Star. Unlock $2 tickets, beer, hot dogs, and more. Don't miss this high score deal. First pitch is 7:05 p.m. Grab your tickets now at samissions.com.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news to stats to placing bets in a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought because she went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge. But it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Gentlemen, testosterone levels can start dropping in your 30s, leading to low energy, reduced libido, and slower metabolism. Rock's Discount Vitamins is making it easy to take back control. No appointments and no prescriptions. Just head into a Rock's and walk out with a natural solution tailored to you. Our powerful line of natural testosterone boosters can help increase energy, build muscle, rev up your metabolism, and reignite your drive. You'll feel the difference and fast. Visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God in South Texas.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from Newstalk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Looks like we've got a trouble spot on Loop 410 eastbound right as you approach Starcrest, northeast side of town. This wreck has got both shoulders blocked. Stop and go from Broadway, so about a 15-minute delay. 20-minute ride on 90 eastbound, 211 on over to Loop 410 and 35 northbound. That connector to 1604 roadwork, blocking the connector ramp. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
It's finally here. It's draft day. The Cowboys hold the 12th overall pick, and the Texans hold the 25th overall pick. You can catch it all tonight right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, starting right after the Blitz at 6. In last night's Game 2 action, the Celtics take a series lead 2-0 with a win over the Magic, and the Cavs get the win over the Heat 121-112, and the Rockets take the win over the Warriors. I'm Vic Brown with 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
7:01 on the Morning Huddle, 11 hours, 58 minutes, and 44 seconds until the NFL draft. The countdown continues. Where you guys are going to be out at the Roo Pub, is that right, today?
Out at the Roo Pub today. We'll do our show from 2 to 6, and then I would imagine we're hanging around and watching the draft on those massive screens there at the Roo Pub. Cold beer or two.
Having some cold ones.
Absolutely.
Pretty decent looking gals working there at the Roo Pub too, Joe.
Not bad, not bad.
And they all love Joe. They all they want to give him shoulder rubs. Joe's a very, very popular man. That's right.
Dude, it's very difficult to go anywhere.
I get it, man.
If you're me, honestly, it's like, not now, please.
Right. And it helps.
Because
you hang out with Jason, and Jason is not what you would call a handsome man. It makes you look better. Like you made a good choice.
Yeah, of course. I learned that early on.
Hot chicks like to hang out with some ugly girls, and it makes you look better. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good move by you. That's a power play. Some people would call it. Power play.
Yeah.
One of the guys who I've heard could be selected tonight if there is a run on quarterbacks. I've heard could probably more than likely goes tomorrow. But Jalen Milroe from Alabama has been talked about more in the last week or two than I feel like he's been talked about all off season. And I think the reason why people are starting to look at Jalen Milroe is because we've now seen Jalen Hurts go win a Super Bowl. And I think those skill sets are very similar.
There is sort of an accuracy issue with Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe can throw a deep ball like nobody's business. That dude, it's about as pretty a thing when he cuts one loose. I've heard things. Cam Newton's power with Lamar Jackson's speed. Those types of things seem ridiculous to me.
Yes.
But I do see a world where teams could look at him as potentially the next Jalen Hurts. The problem with taking a guy like that is you have to really commit to building your team around a guy like that. And the Eagles did that. They focused in on defense. They focused in on offensive line. And you also have to, you have to be lucky. You have to hit on some guys that you take a chance on. What are your thoughts on Milroe and as far as what he can do right away and what you think his long-term prognosis could be?
Well, look, I think long-term, I think he's a great prospect. But he's a guy that I talk about that I think you've got to let him cook a little bit. He's got to learn. Anthony Richardson, just go back to him, and I'm not comparing the two necessarily, but Anthony Richardson comes in with all of this hype. He's so athletic. He's this, he's that. And the guy stunk up the first year. And you got Daniel Jones now they brought in to compete with him, for goodness sake. That tells you about all you need to know. And I think Milroe kind of fits in that same bubble. I don't think he's a guy that any team can take and expect him day one to line up as your starting quarterback. He's got to learn the pro game. I wish Lamar Jackson would teach a class to some of these athletic quarterbacks that are coming out of college, because Lamar Jackson is just an unbelievable specimen, isn't he? I mean, this guy is just incredible. He can throw the football. He can stay in the pocket when he needs to stay in the pocket. He can run when he needs to run. But I think these guys that come out of college, like a Milroe, I think would do. Anthony Richardson's another good example, that they panic. And they think that then it's like, well, I got to run. I have to run. And they don't wait enough. That's not the NFL game. It's a big part of what they do and the escapability and getting the first down, but you've got to adjust your game. Anthony Richardson thus far has not been able to do that. And I think Jalen Milroe would fit into that same category. So when he is drafted, and I believe that he will be, I hope he goes to a team that he doesn't have to play right away. And I think that would benefit him greatly.
Yeah. Lamar Jackson really is maybe the best example of a guy, because remember when Lamar was drafted and the Ravens moved back into the first round to get him, he was one of the first guys where they were saying we got to get that fifth year, so we're going to trade back up to the very back of the first round and get him. But Lamar was incredibly inaccurate.
Yep.
I mean, he threw some balls that like a mile over his receiver's head in college, and it was like, dude, is this going to work?
And he still does that sometimes.
but for the most part, he's really like I don't know that I've seen a passer develop as much as Lamar Jackson has developed as a passer. Like from where he was when he got to the league to now, it's night and day, really. And he's now become one of the more accurate passers in the league. I don't know that everyone's capable of that. I don't know that that's repeatable stuff. And there, we talked about it last segment. For every Lamar Jackson who developed into this, to what he is now, an MVP, to a Josh Allen who, like I said, year one, year two, looked like he could barely play in the league and then developed into an MVP. For every one of those guys, there's like 3 Trey Lances or Anthony Richardsons, guys who were drafted on potential who just never got good. They stunk when they started and they still stink now. So it is, it's a gamble to take these guys, and Jalen Milroe feels like that guy of this class. Like the athleticism, the ability is so unique that somebody's going to take a chance on it, but it could, it might be just a burnt up draft pick at the end of the day, where I look at, to me, Shador at a minimum, guys like Shador, Quinn Ewers it falls into this category too. Guys who are so good at fundamentals and accurate short passes. Those are the guys who at the worst case, they're a solid backup quarterback. Whereas some of these other guys, like if Trey Lance isn't even a good backup quarterback.
No.
Like you never want Trey Lance to be in a football game. I think in 2 or 3 years, you're never going to want Anthony Richardson to be in a football game. I just don't think he's worth a damn. So at least with a Quinn Ewers or a Shedeur Sanders, the worst case scenario, you've got a really safe, solid backup quarterback. Jalen Milroe is one of those guys who really could be like a home run, or he could be a complete freaking waste.
It's a good way to put it. But I just look at the college game and the pro game are still so much different. I know the NFL is evolving more into a college type of offense, but it's still different. It's still the pocket passer primarily. And that's what Shedeur Sanders does well. He's a good pocket passer. But, you go back to a Trey Lance, and I think it's in a lot of ways it's unfair to him. Guy never played any football. I mean, he didn't play much in college. He certainly hasn't played much since he's been in the NFL. He just hasn't played a lot of football. And maybe it will never happen for him. But look, Trey Lance has got all the skills. He's got all the tools. I just don't think he has it between the ears. And I think the NFL game is so complicated that you've got to be able to think quickly. And you look at good quarterbacks that can do that, a Lamar Jackson, a Joe Burrow, an Allen, a Josh Allen. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, certainly, that can think as they move and can make decisions on a dime. And some of these quarterbacks just don't have that. And I think that was Trey Lance's biggest problem. Talented guy, but he just doesn't have it between the ears when it comes to NFL offenses. Well, and I think and Anthony Richardson may be the same thing, and he relies on his legs way too much to be a pro quarterback.
I always go back to and a guy that I covered when he was in college, Vince Young, who was arguably the greatest college player I've ever seen play. Mm-hmm. I think if you didn't see him play in person, it's hard to explain what this dude was. But the thing about Vince was growing up all through high school, even in college, he was the best athlete on the field. And he was always bigger and stronger and faster than everyone else. And football really came easy to him. And then you get to the NFL and everyone is the biggest and strongest and fastest. And suddenly linebackers are faster than you. And it's like guys who, and I think Trey Lance is a great example of this, is a guy who, played at a smaller school, didn't play against high-level competition. A lot of the times he was able to get by on the fact that I'm a better athlete than the guys I'm playing against. And then you get to the NFL, and if, like you said, if you're not able to mentally adjust to the game when everything's faster and everyone's bigger and you're not playing like with a creative player on Madden on rookie mode.
Yep.
You really are going to fall to the wayside. And I mean, listen, Jalen Milroe played at Alabama. There's not much of a better place. You're going to play with the best in the world. You're going to play against the best in the world in college if you're at Alabama. So I don't think it's quite going to be the jump that a Trey Lance had to make. But I do think there's some real potential that Jalen Milroe just never develops out of what he is now. Now, I love that the upside of him is Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson or Cam Newton. And if that's what you get, dude, whenever you take it, if he went number one, it would be a good pick. The likelihood that I mean, how often do those guys turn into that? It's just very rare. So
very rare. In college, you can rely on your legs. You can bail yourself out, and you can run with the football. In the pros, it's different. For all the things that you just stated, that linebacker is faster than you. You got 350-pound linemen that can run as fast as you. I mean, it's incredible, the talent, and it's such an upgrade, and people just don't understand the upgrade from college to the pros. It's a huge step, and some of these guys, you just can't do some of the same things you did in college when you get up to the NFL level, and these guys have to learn it. Anthony Richardson hadn't learned it yet. Jalen Milroe is going to have to learn it. All the tools, all the talent, very talented guy, but you can't bail and say, I can run my way out of this in the NFL. You can't do it 9 times out of 10.
9 times out of 10. There are guys because Lamar Jackson is not just fast for a quarterback. Lamar Jackson is like, he is always the fastest person on the field. He's different. Yeah. Nobody else is going to be like that. Josh Allen is really, really fast and also bigger than everybody. And can actually, he actually does a really good job avoiding contact, but he doesn't take the licks that some of these other guys take. Whereas a Jaden Daniels, I don't know how, like Jaden Daniels ran a lot in year one. I don't know how long you can maintain that, because eventually, because who else runs a lot is Kyler Murray. And Kyler Murray's body is just not built to run as much as it does in the NFL. And so it shortens the lifespan of when you can do that. I think it's very rare that guys in the NFL can get away with relying on their legs as much as like a Lamar Jackson or a Josh Allen do. You have to have like a super, super unique skill set. And even the guys who are big and Anthony Richardson is big and fast, and even he gets hurt all the time. Like it's just a different game, man. The guys that you were running over in college do not get run over, and it's these guys learn quickly that it is not the same game. All right, let's hit a break. I want to get into with you, Joe, the Cowboys and what you think they should do. We've got some sound from Adam Schefter, from Marcus Spears, from Dan Orlovsky, and from my little sweet Mina Kimes, even talking about the Dallas Cowboys and what they should do. We'll hear from all of them next. We'll hear from Joe Reinagle on what the Cowboys should do. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
The Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the Big Blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
Good morning, you're on the air. Boy, I got to tell you, I love your show because it's so educational. I learn something every week. I was shopping about a month ago. Yeah? I bought a pineapple, and somebody tried to mount me in all 3 at Sam's Club, and I didn't know what was going on. Oh, my God. Worse than that, last summer, I bought a guava, and I can't even talk about what happened.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show, Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon, right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
When it comes to vaccines, it's important to get the facts. The City of San Antonio Metropolitan Health District understands that keeping your child safe is your top priority. Vaccines are safe and can help your child's immune system fight harmful germs. They protect against serious diseases and can even save lives. Because when it comes to your child's health, it's time to get real about vaccines and get the facts. Learn more at sa.gov/health. sa.gov/health.
No two people learn the exact same way. So how did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you, all of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Keith is a be in the room with real people kind of learner. So he loves the live online classes with our language experts.
Okay, class. Vos está pronto.
Estamos prontos.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free info kit. 800-371-0505. 800-371-0505.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
John always listens to his truck. So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone, where a helpful AutoZoner gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool. Restrictions apply.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's going to audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
If you miss the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you miss this.
And now the real work begins because he's actually got to go back and edit this thing. So.
Well, who's going to do the editing?
Well, he'll do it. Eggleston's not going to do it.
When you work with a guy like that, you interview him, there's a lot of edit points.
Well, trust me, James Pledger, our producer, knows every day he records the Sports Center that runs over on KTSA, and they all end. Good luck with that, Pledge.
No, that's true. I just heard it a few minutes ago.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
On a bit of a sad note, the sports world lost a legend yesterday. Steve Mongo McMichael passed away. A proud Texas Longhorn. I got to be around him a little bit when I was working in Austin, and he was a presence. This is a massive dude who, like, when he walked in a room, you could tell this was a bad mother effer. And not many guys can say they were teammates with Walter Payton and Ric Flair. That is a hell of a legacy. A four horsemen. It was crazy to see the photos of him. Obviously, I don't know if everybody knows this, so I guess I should point out that he died of ALS, the Lou Gehrig's disease, and like the last couple years, he just didn't look like what he was. It's a terrible, terrible disease. But yeah, I wanted to point out that he did pass, and a legend, man. Just like I said, when he was in his heyday, a powerful force to be around. I remember he sang the "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" at Wrigley once, and right before he sang the seventh inning stretch, he basically called out the umpire for making a crappy call, and like the whole crowd started booing the umpire to the point where the umpire had to like walk off the field because the whole crowd got, because Mongo made them feel like they could just attack this umpire, and he's like hiding in the dugout while they all yell at him about a crappy call. But yeah, just it's a bummer. Died yesterday. So R.I.P. to the great Mongo McMichael. I still like to consider him of the Four Horsemen fame. I mean, if you're ever part of the Four Horsemen of pro wrestling, that is a great honor, I believe. A great honor.
Sure, absolutely. He was fantastic. One of the best to ever play at his position. There's no doubt. And, on those good Chicago Bear defenses, man, they were tough, and he was a big part of that. So yeah, big loss, and R.I.P.
Yep, he was a mean son of a gun. Son of a gun on a football field. All right, back to the draft. I wanted to ask you about the Dallas Cowboys, because it does seem, and Rob even admits this. Rob, as a fan, says, "I want a running back, or I want a wide receiver. I want something shiny. Like, I want something to get me excited." What are your thoughts on where the Cowboys should be looking? Because it does feel like they got a lot of holes, both on the defensive side. I mean, their offensive line was terrible last year, and they lose Zach Martin. I think offensive line would be a prudent place to look, but it does seem that every Cowboys fan is saying, we want the shiny thing. We want Dak to have weapons. We want a toy. What are your thoughts on where they should go, and do you think that is the right move?
Well, a lot of mocks. I think Peter Schrager's mock yesterday had them taking an offensive lineman out of Alabama, and I don't think that would be a bad move. But if you've got a guy like Ted McMillan available at 12, how do you pass him by? This guy is, to me, is just one of those wide receivers that's got size. He's got hands. the red zone capabilities of this guy is off the charts. I think if Ted McMillan, the Cowboys stay at 12, which a lot of people think they will, some think they might try to move down, back up the draft in the 20s. But I think if Ted McMillan is there and the Cowboys are at 12, I don't see how you pass that guy up. I just think you line him up opposite CeeDee Lamb, and the Cowboys have been looking for a number 2 wide receiver for a long time. I think he's the guy. So if he's not there and the Cowboys decide to move back, then an offensive lineman makes a lot of sense. It's a deep lineman draft from what I've been able to see, and a deep running back draft. I don't think you have to take one of those guys in the first round to upgrade what you've got. So I'm a Ted McMillan guy. I think that's who they should take if he's available. And Jerry likes those shiny objects as well as the fans. So for me, I would take McMillan if he's there.
Well, you and the lovely Mina Kimes seem to agree on this. Here's Mina talking about what the Cowboys should do at 12.
I'm going wide receiver at 12. And if Tedero McMillan, the receiver out of Arizona, is there, I am running that pick because I think he is a perfect fit for what they need based on his skill sets. It goes so well with the Cowboys, starting with the hands. This is calling cards. Y'all know I hate the goal line fade. I don't hate it if you're 6'4" and you come back to the football the way this kid does. You see it all the time on the back shoulder throws, which are all over his tape as well. He's not passive about it. He comes back, he attacks it, he uses his big frame to box out DBs. Yards after the catch, so he's not a burner, but he's surprisingly smooth with the ball in his hands. You see some of the stop-start ability over the middle of the field. He's shifty. He's elusive for that size. Again, on the in-breaker coming up next against New Mexico, watch how fluid he is as he avoids contact to catch football, avoids DB, then accelerates upfield. This is why he was third amongst all college receivers, in missed tackles forced. Finally, body control. Hooper. So good at halting his momentum, staying on his feet. Again, with the back shoulder here, you're going to watch his feet as he stays in bounds. He's got great sideline awareness. So many catches like this on his tape. The body control stands out. So I highlight these tapes because if he's in Dallas, if he's in Dallas, this guy's going to see a lot of one-on-ones with CeeDee Lamb. And as you saw there, he has the ability to take advantage of those one-on-ones.
Mina Kimes is so smart. And
she is.
And cute as a button.
She's cute, She's cute.
I'm very attracted to her, even though she's not what I would call traditionally super hot. I find her very alluring. I think mostly because she does know what she's talking about when it comes to football. I like that. A lot of gals on TV don't know what they're saying when they talk about football, but she's very smart.
I haven't. I've known you now for a little while, and if it's female and it walks and talks, you find them attractive. It's
now earlier in the show, you accused me of being a homosexual, and now you're saying anybody who walks, I'm willing to have relations with.
If it's a human being that walks, and it's pretty much open season.
But if they are in a wheelchair, you think I would not have relations with them?
Well, I don't know. You might. I mean, they can't get away from you that way.
Exactly. I like the idea of Ted McMillan. I think he is I like big-bodied receivers.
Yes.
I hear a lot of people talking about Matthew Golden, and Matthew Golden he's a burner. The dude, and I like his game too. Don't get me wrong. But typically, if I've got my choice, I like these receivers who are 6'3", 6'4". That interests me more than the guys who are 5'10", 5'11", and run the 4.2s. Just because I just feel like they're limited in what they can do. Whereas these giants who also can move a little, there's just a little bit more to their game. And that's where Ted McMillan falls in. The Adam Schefter, he also pointed out what he thinks the Cowboys may be doing at pick 12.
I think that they would love to find an offensive weapon if they could at wide receiver somewhere. It would be an ideal scenario for this team. I think people also recognize they could decide to upgrade the offensive line. They're going to need a cornerback at some point in this draft with all the uncertainty facing their current group of cornerbacks. So there are a lot of ways that this can go. You heard Jerry Jones talk there about the fact that they're not going to let a great player slip past them. And again, there are so many similarities between so many of these players. It will depend on who's there, but I think some people would not be surprised to see a wide receiver or an offensive lineman.
Okay.
Well, thanks, Adam. That narrows it down.
Yeah. Now,
jeez.
Now Dan Orlovsky, now he talked about the Cowboys at 12 and the talk about the offensive line.
I get confused with the Cowboys in the offensive line conversation. I think their group was just young last year.
I totally
it's going to go Guyton, Smith, Cooper Beebe, probably Brock Hoffman.
Yep.
Beebe was good.
That group of four was
Yeah.
Hoffman. So, I don't see offensive line. Right tackle we can have a conversation about. I just don't think you rush that. It's wide receiver for me, and it's not close. I think the Cowboys are going to be an improved football team. I think they can be a playoff contending football team, but not unless they get a number 2 viable wide receiver.
See, he is a lot more bullish on the Cowboys offensive line than I am. I don't know if Tyler Guyton is good.
I don't
know,
either.
I know
I
he's
agree
young,
with you.
but you know what? He was nowhere close to ready a year ago. And that could be, he's young, but you draft an offensive lineman in the first round, they usually don't look that bad. Terrence Steele is not good. He's not. Quite frankly, Brock Hoffman is not good. I think the Cowboys have a ton of holes on that offensive line, and it's not just about youth. I just think that they don't have very good players on the front right now. And if Tyler Guyton is no good, does it really matter what your weapons are? Because if you don't have a left tackle, we already know right tackle is probably no good. So if you don't have tackles, then it's the same old excuse as always. Well, Dak doesn't have any protection. So it's you've got to choose between having weapons and having protection, and any receiver is going to get open if you give him enough time. I just don't know how much time this offensive line can give Dak. I don't think it's wild to consider offensive line. If the right offensive lineman's there, I'd consider, because I really think the more I saw of Guyton last year, it wouldn't shock me if he ends up being moved to the inside, because he does not look like a left tackle in the NFL.
I totally agree with you on Tyler Guyton. I'm just not sure he's the guy. And I think they reached with that pick last year. Look, I think there is enough quality offensive linemen in this draft that you don't have to take them number 1. You can have your cake and eat it too. And I think you get a Tet McMillan number 1. You heard, I think it was Adam Schefter talking about cornerback. They need that. Trayvon Diggs is washed. This guy had one good year, got paid, and now he can't stay healthy. They've got to replace this guy. He's done. Not a big fan of Trayvon Diggs either. They've got to replace him. They've got Deron Bland as well that they're trying to work out a deal with as we speak. But they've got to address that as well. You talked about the holes that they have. Offensive line is certainly a big one. But again, if you've got an opportunity to get a quality wideout like a Tet McMillan, I just don't think you can pass that. And I think you can address the offensive line as you go further in the draft. You can address cornerback. Running back is certainly something they've got to address. But look, I think this Javonte Williams that they got from Denver, I think he's got the capability of being a quality running back. And so I think maybe they've addressed that in the not so big a hurry to get a running back, not to mention the fact that it's a pretty deep running back draft. So I just think offensive lineman number 1 at 12, if Tet McMillan is there or some kind of weapon like him, I think you've got to take that and then address the offensive line as you go through the draft.
Now, Marcus Spears, we'll hear from him next. He believes the Cowboys should take a big swing here. I don't necessarily agree with this, and I'll almost say this is so unlikely to happen anyway. This is not something that Jerry's going to be looking to do. But he thinks the Cowboys should be making a big play here.
If I'm Dallas, just hear me out, guys.
Okay.
I'm trying to see whatever I can do to get Travis Hunter.
Whoa.
Like if I'm Dallas, I'm trying to figure out whatever I can do to get up to Travis Hunter. And it's because not because you feel a need on both sides of the ball. Whatever position you want him to play, like at receiver, I would be great with him being a 2, not my 1 right now. Right, opposite of CeeDee Lamb. But you think about Trayvon and his injuries at cornerback. You think about what he could do for that defense with him and Micah Parsons being on the same side, and you build that way. All right, now that's my shocker for the draft. But I would absolutely explore to see if I could get up there, especially like I know Cleveland and New York want to take the best player at 2 and 3. I don't think Cleveland would shun away from going 12, and maybe they do take a quarterback if they get that pick from the Dallas Cowboys.
What would they have to give up, RC?
Everything. A lot. They have to give up everything. First round pick. You have to give up everything because now you're not only in this draft getting the second pick, moving up from 12, you're getting the best football player. And if I'm Cleveland and Andrew Berry, I make you pay for that.
Look, can we come back to reality now?
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, that's great. That sounds great in The Wizard of Oz, but it's not going to happen. And Cleveland would demand so much for that the Cowboys aren't going to do that. Look, I mean,
Marcus Jerry's Spears, pretty much said that we're not trading up. Now, Jerry said we might go another direction, which means, well, there's only two ways you could move in the draft. You can move up or down if you are going to move. But he was like, I don't picture us trading up. I could see us moving in another direction, but I don't see us trading up. So I don't think the Cowboys are apt to trade up. Where do you fall on Travis Hunter? Do you think Travis Hunter's the best football player in this draft?
I think so. I think you have to say that, don't you? I mean, the way the guy played at Colorado, I think he's pretty damn good. And I think Cleveland would have to get a haul to trade away that second pick. They would have to. He just best player, yeah, because of the things that he can do. I think he's a better wide receiver than he is a corner, and that's where I would primarily want to play that guy. But he can do both and gives you a lot of options when it comes to that. So, I think he's one of those guys that just comes along every now and then that can do it all.
You also believe there's no way he can play on both sides of the ball like regularly.
There's no way.
Right? Yeah,
not in the NFL.
It's too crazy.
No,
I'm not saying there won't be like packages for him, but the idea that I know he's still saying like he wants to play every snap. It's just not. It's not a real thing like that.
Well, then your career will last about 3 years.
No, about 3 weeks.
Yeah, maybe so. Right? Yeah, exactly.
Lasts about 3 weeks. Yeah, I still think Abdul Carter is the best player in this draft. I watched him late in the season, playing the big games against Ohio State, and it's like, this guy is just on a different level. I mean, this is the guy. If I had the number one pick, this is who I would take. I mean, obviously, I think that's pretty much determined that that's not who it's going to be. But I think in hindsight, we'll look back at this draft and go, how did they see that guy and not pick him number one overall? I just think he's got the chance to be a special Micah Parsons type player. And Myles Garrett, those types of guys. There's 4 or 5 of those in the league, and I don't think they come around that often. If you can get one of those guys, if you can get a Max Crosby or a Trey Hendrickson or a TJ Watt, you take those guys because there is about 5 or 6 of them in the league that really are that great. And I think he can be one of them. I hate the idea that Ashton Genty is going to go in the top 5.
Yeah, it looks like Jacksonville now.
Yeah, they are the favorites.
Right? Yeah.
I look at running back as almost a disposable part still. They don't last. They're not built to last. And if Ashton Genty is Saquon Barkley, then I'm wrong. And you know what? Like if that's what he is, then great. You hit a home run. Just seems like most of these guys who get drafted in the top 5 end up they might be good for a couple years. It just doesn't last. I mean, Zeke is a great example of that. Todd Gurley, who might have been as good as any prospect coming out.
Yeah,
you were good for a couple years, and then it just the tread runs off of these running backs so fast that it's hard to make an investment with a pick that you could get an offensive lineman that can be on your team for 12, 13 years. No running back is going to be on your team for 12 or 13 years and be useful. It's such a rare thing. It doesn't make sense to me, but it looks like more and more he is going to be a top 5 pick now. The Cowboys wanted him bad at 12. That seemed like a month or two ago, that seemed like a possibility. Now, I mean, that seems way out of range for the Cowboys. Ashton Genty's stock continues to rise.
Well, I think Genty wanted to play for the Cowboys more than the Cowboys wanted to draft Genty. I'll be honest with you. Look, I think Jerry learned his lesson. You take Zeke Elliott at number 4, which at the time everybody, this is great. This is great. But again, he had some good years, but it never translated with the Cowboys into any kind of playoff success, which is something they desperately need. And then again, he wears out pretty quickly. Look, Genty is a hell of a running back. But again, I think it depends on the system. You go to a place like Jacksonville where players go to die. I mean, basically, right? And if Jacksonville's the team that takes him, I feel bad for Genty, and he may have a couple of good years. Look, with the Raiders, I think that's a perfect fit for him. And if I'm the Raiders, then I do everything I can to keep Jacksonville from drafting him. If you've got to move up a couple of spots to do that, and I think New England will be a player in a trade like that. I really do. At number 4, I think they would be willing to trade out of that spot, and I think the Raiders might be looking at that. Look, AJ, I think there's going to be a lot of fireworks tonight. Most people, you haven't heard about it, but I think there's going to be. Now, there's going to be trades, there's going to be deals made, and I think the New England Patriots are the team that the Raiders need to go to move ahead of Jacksonville if they want Ashton Genty as bad as it seems that they want him.
Patriots always seem willing to make deals. This is the longest, the closest to the draft, which, by the way, 11 hours, 21 minutes, and 41 seconds right now away from the draft. This is the closest to the draft we've ever been where every team still held their own number 1 pick. By now, usually these picks are traded, moved, sometimes years in advance. The idea that all 32 teams have 1 pick today, at least for right now, this doesn't happen very often. Back to Genty real quick. I'm with you. I think he's good. Do I think is he worlds better than Travion Henderson or Quinshon Judkins, like guys that you can get in round 2 or round 3?
Well, the kid out of North Carolina,
I
think could be just as good as him.
I just don't know that. Again, if all things are equal, and is Genty probably a little better than them? Sure. But is it worth a first-round pick? I think you got to be real careful with that when you're.
And he played at Boise State. Okay, I mean, you can't undercut that. I mean, it's true, right? It's small school, so he's got to move up a couple of notches.
All right, let's hit a break. We'll wrap up hour number 1 on the other side. I'm going to tell you about Carbach though. Joe's going to be out at the Roo Pub today for the NFL draft, and you know what they got out there? Plenty of Carbach beer. Yeah, they've got it on draft. They've got it in cans. Whether you want the Love Street, which is their Cold Style Blonde Ale, that's their best seller. It's all over the place. Or the Hopadillo, that's their flagship IPA, very bitter, in-your-face IPA. And my favorite is the Crawford Bock, and they've got that on draft there at the Roo Pub as well. There's something for everybody's palate with Carbach, and man, they are all over San Antonio, all the bars, all the restaurants. And of course, all the liquor stores, all the grocery stores, they're everywhere. So if you haven't tried it yet, when you're out and about, watching the draft tonight or watching the NBA playoffs this weekend, go ahead and ask your bartender, please make it a Carbach.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working an accident on Loop 410 eastbound right as you approach Starcrest. Left lane now blocked, stop and go from Broadway, about a 10-12 minute delay. On 35 northbound, that connector to get onto 1604, we've got some road work, so that connector ramp is blocked. And slowing down on 90 eastbound 211 on over to Loop 410, and the stall we had at 410 southbound at Marbach has just cleared. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Rocket. Rocket is giving every home one address. Rocket.com, a single seamless home ownership platform to help you find, buy, sell, finance, even refinance your home. Everything you need, all under one roof. Visit Rocket.com, the new home for all things home ownership. Rocket, own the dream.
Wilco, live in concert. Sweet and Sour Spring 2025. DSP May 6th with special guest Waxahachie. Wilco. Get tickets now at livenation.com. For more, visit wilcoworld.net.
Transform your water with Connecticut. For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station, $400 off with a trade-in, and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Don't wait. The offer ends soon. Call Connecticut today.
Take advantage of pre-tariff pricing during Truck Month at North Park Chevrolet. Get 2.9% financing for 72 months on new Silverado 1500s. A new Colorado Crew Cab posted at $29,999. $5,000 off MSRP on a new Equinox. 4.8% financing for 84 months on new Tahoes and Suburbans. Together, let's drive at North Park Chevrolet. 10 minutes outside Loop 410 in Castroville or at npchevy.com.
Must qualify. Call 830-355-2107 for full price and offer details.
Hi, I'm Jason Thompson. I'm a personal injury attorney, and since 1994, I've been helping people and their families seriously injured or killed by negligent drivers. My website is alawyer4us.com. I use that phrase because I know that there's no way a regular San Antonian can possibly beat a billion-dollar insurance company alone. You will need an experienced attorney to stand up for you and get what you and your family deserve. This month, my father will retire after 50 years of practicing law, doing what he taught me to do, help people in need. Stand up for the people that cannot. Use the skills you have to help the people in your community win and where you can. When an insured driver seriously injures someone, a billion-dollar insurance company uses everything it can to pay as little as possible. Every insurance company you have heard of has a very large staff of attorneys already working against you. If you or a family member has been seriously injured because of a negligent driver, call me, Jason Thompson, as soon as you can after a collision. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400. Or check out my website, alawyer4us.com.
Don't let pain hold you back from living your best life. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett with Arasti. At Arasti, we're dedicated to providing fast, effective relief from pain. Whether you've been dealing with a chronic discomfort for years or have recently suffered an injury, our goal is to help you recover quickly. Our treatment is all natural, non-invasive, and covered by most insurance plans. With convenient locations nearby, relief is just a call away. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
You have 3 ex-wives, and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-444-2013. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-444-2013. That's 800-444-2013 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013.
This is Jason Lennox, and you're listening to the home of the Texas Rangers, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I love this song, Vic. Crank it up, baby.
Yeah, here it goes.
Transmission, third world round. A decade of the weapon, the sound above ground. Oh, no shelter if you're looking for shade. Come on, baby.
Yeah, lonely man.
Devoured, a silent play in the shadow of power. Camera's eyes on choice disguised. These are my guys, man. Well, the vultures thirst for blood and oil. Come on. The bullets and bombs who stuffed the banks.
Woo.
Who staffed the party ranks? More for gore, the son of a drug lord. None of the above. F it. Cut the cord. Come on, sing it, Zach. Turn that ish up. All right. Joe Reinagle, kind enough to sit in. Joe Reinagle, a big Rage Against the Machine fan and a big Swiftie, just like me.
Yeah.
That's
well,
us.
I don't know about Rage Against the Machine, but Swiftie, yes.
Oh, you don't like Rage, huh?
Well, this is not my style.
Joe, I got to ask you. I didn't get to talk to you. We went to this concert, the INXS tribute band.
Yeah.
Rob said he had such a great time at this. I had the worst time at that show. I thought it was nonsense. I think INXS sucks. So I think like a cover band of INXS was even worse. And then I don't know how you felt. It made me so mad that the same guys came out in different wigs and tried to pretend to be a different band.
Well, I don't blame them. I mean, they got paid double duty, I guess. So,
did it feel like you were tricked? I felt like I was tricked.
Well, yeah, because I was like, hey, wait a minute, that's the same guy.
Yeah.
So you were. I was expecting a different band, a different thing, but you're right. The guy just went back and changed his wig, and I'm not a big NXS fan either. But what were it was NXS and then somebody else.
U2
right?
was the
U2. Now they were much better. U2, I think, but yeah, it was kind of weird.
I had already.
The
problem for me was
drinks.
I like U2 better than I like NXS. So in my head, I was like, okay, if I can just get through this crappy NXS set, the U2 band will be better. But I already had locked in that I don't like this singer. I don't like this band. This band sucks. And then the band came out and they looked different. I felt lied to. And I mean, as you saw, I just left.
Well,
I refused to be lied to.
Yeah, your feelings were hurt.
They were.
Tell. I think
you
cried a little.
I was not pleased about the way that they tried to pull one over on us there. The NFL draft 11 hours, 11 minutes, and 25 seconds away, guys. We are fast approaching. Now, the teams, it seems like the Titans are locked in. It seems like the Browns are locked in. We've heard the Giants are locked into Abdul Carter. I still believe that there are teams who are going to be looking to trade up to 2 and 3. I think the Browns, while they'd like Travis Hunter, I think they're looking at Travis Hunter and going, this isn't going to fix our problems. We still got so many problems. I can't imagine the Giants think, as I just said, Abdul Carter's the best player in the draft. The Giants already have Kayvon Thibodeau. They've got Brian Burns. They're one of the few teams that already has good edge rushers. It seems like those two teams should really be open for, and the Patriots too, for that matter, should really be open for business. Teams that kind of have needs all over the place. I think the team that's in the best case, the best scenario of all these teams is the Patriots, though. Like you said.
Oh, yeah.
Because go ahead and look through the top 7, 8, even really top. You might go all the way to 9. I guess 10, you kind of get settled. I think 8 maybe is a little settled. But outside of the Jags and I guess the Panthers and the Bears, all the teams in the top 10 need a quarterback. The Patriots are the one team that I know are happy with. They need everything but quarterback. So for them, this really is best player available. And what a great year to have a quarterback and need everything else because the quarterbacks suck. So because teams like the Titans are going to go reach for a quarterback, that means a player that wasn't likely to come to you is going to come to you. Those teams are in the best situations in my mind. The teams that have a quarterback in this draft and can just draft whoever they want that's not a quarterback.
Well, and you're right. And when it comes to the Patriots, that's why I think they will be willing and somebody will grab their spot at number 4 because they need so much. Now, everybody had a mock to take an offensive lineman, and that's a good thing. They need offensive line help. But can you imagine the Patriots or anybody that just needs a weapon? I think you would give up a lot to go get a Hunter or I don't know how the Tennessee Titans are going to pass Abdul Carter, to be totally honest with you, or Travis Hunter. Nothing against Cam Ward, but if you have an opportunity to take a player like a Travis Hunter or an Abdul Carter, I think you'd do it. That's why I think the Giants will do it. They're not sold on Thibodeau. That's the problem. He really hasn't seemed to develop the way they've wanted him to develop. And I've heard rumblings that, he could be on the trade block before they have to pay him, which is coming up pretty soon. So that might be why they're interested in an Abdul Carter. And I think if they do stay at 3 or whoever is it, how do you pass that guy up? You just don't. The Patriots would love for Carter to fall to 4. I don't think he's going to.
I don't
they
either.
would love that. Are you kidding me?
I also am fascinated by the idea tonight, and especially, like I said, because we haven't seen any trades happen yet. I think there will be a trade that happens tonight that is a pick for a player. And I love those types of trades. I love seeing it's one thing to say we're trading the 5th pick for the 9th pick and a 2nd rounder. That's fine. we're trading our pick for TJ Watt, or we're trading our pick for Trey Hendrickson. I think something like that could happen tonight. And that is what fascinates me. Like seeing a team like say, okay, because those are the teams that are doing that. They're pushing their chips into the middle. They're saying we're trying to win right now. I don't care about TJ Watt is going to be old in 3 years, whatever. He might be out of the league then. We're doing it right now. The Rams won a Super Bowl that way. The Rams said, we're not drafting kids. We're getting players who can help us win today, and we'll figure out the future when we got to figure it out. I expect there to be a trade like that today and I think those two names are the most likely, TJ Watt or Trey Hendrickson, to be moved just because it seems like they're in a weird position where they're not going to want to pay those guys. The other team I'm fascinated to see what they do is the 49ers. Because this Brock Purdy thing it's a unique situation. I am not a believer that Brock Purdy is the long-term answer. It appears Brock Purdy is asking for like $50 million a year. I think if you were to separate Brock Purdy from Kyle Shanahan and say, hey, you guys both go your separate ways, we'll see who has more success. I have much more faith that Kyle Shanahan is going to have success. I don't know if Brock Purdy can even swim in the rest of the NFL if he gets away from these coaches.
Dude, stop it. Brock Purdy is a serviceable quarterback, and if he's only asking for $50 million, you give it to him. You give it to him. They paid Dak Prescott $60.
And what you say, it's the biggest mistake they've made. We'll talk about that next. Well, actually, we'll get into some NBA playoffs next. Morning Huddle 94.1.
From the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas Injury Lawyers. This is KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Lowe's. The new My Lowe's Pro Rewards program makes it easier than ever for members to save and get more. Join for free today. Lowe's, they help you save. Program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms subject to change.
You know the Roo Pub is proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and the best place to watch a game. Just down from the big blind, right next to the Angry Elephant. The Roo Pub, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collision since 1994. My website is alawyer4us.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyer4us.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyer4us.com.
Hey, listen up, San Antonio. Multiple tours overseas, long nights monitoring cyber activity, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training. We call that credit where credit is due. Whether you're active duty and looking at what's next, or a veteran looking for something new, our degrees and certificate programs teach the application of emerging technologies and enduring life skills. So get started on a degree or certificate with personalized local support services and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. At UMGC, you'll find everything from online to hybrid courses and lifetime career services to scholarship opportunities, making your education journey flexible, fast, and affordable. Apply now and save with no application fee through May 30th. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now? The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's going to audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Join us for San Antonio's premier Fiesta event, Taste of the Northside, presented by HEB, Thursday, May 1st at 6. Experience gourmet food and wine tastings, sip on elevated spirits and cold brews, and enjoy live entertainment at our new location, The Rock at La Cantera. All proceeds benefit Brighton Center, serving children with disabilities and developmental delays in San Antonio. Limited all-inclusive tickets are $300 in advance and can be purchased at tasteofthenorthside.org. Viva Fiesta.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. Babbel is designed with you in mind. From expert-created lessons to conversational video units and even live classes, you can personalize your Babbel experience to be exactly what you need to really learn a new language more easily. Go ahead, set a goal for yourself. Accomplish it with Babbel. Try Babbel for free. Go to BABBEL.com. That's Babbel.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Your commute definitely starting to fill in. New trouble spot 35 northbound Tupperwine. That stall is in the right lane. On northbound 35, just past Judson Road, accident left lane just occurred. So for now, about a 5-7 minute delay as you stop and go from Thousand Oaks. On I-10 eastbound approaching Santa Clara, far east side of town, that stall is taking up a right lane. Did clear the wreck at 410 eastbound approaching Starcrest. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
It's finally here. It's draft day. The Cowboys hold the 12th overall pick, and the Texans hold the 25th overall pick. You can catch it all tonight right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, starting right after the Blitz at 6. In last night's Game 2 action, the Celtics take a series lead 2-0 with a win over the Magic, and the Cavs get the win over the Heat 121-112, and the Rockets take the win over the Warriors. I'm Vic Brown with 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
8:01 on the Morning Huddle. 10 hours, 59 minutes, and 9 seconds away from the NFL draft. The countdown continues. Let's give away a pair of tickets to go see the Gunslingers, San Antonio Gunslingers, taking on the hated Las Vegas Nighthawks Saturday, April 26th at the Freeman Coliseum. Guns up, baby. I don't know if they say guns up, but that's what I would say if I were there. Go slang them guns, baby. Yeah. Slang them, baby. Slang them and bang them. Let's go caller number 5. You'll win a pair of tickets to go see the Gunslingers and the Las Vegas Nighthawks. Stupid Nighthawks. Gunslingers are going to kick their ass. What's going to happen? They got no chance. 0 chance for the Nighthawks. All right.
What's the line on that game, AJ? You know,
I don't have it in front of me. No. We'll do the daily lines later, and I'll see if I can find a good number on that one. Yeah. The NBA playoffs. We've talked a lot of NFL draft today because we are 10 hours, 58 minutes, and 7 seconds away from it. But it is also we're in the midst of the NBA playoffs, and we had some. I mean, I don't want to say competitive. They were competitive relative to what we've seen. We had a couple dogs cover last night. The Magic stayed within double digits of the Celtics, and they actually were I mean, this was like a 3-point game at halftime. It was a competitive game for a while before it was just too much Jaylen Brown. He puts up 36. Kristaps Porzingis got his head busted open and came back and was able to finish the game like a hero. And then the Cavs, they struggled a little bit. It looked like they were going to run away from the Heat, and then the Heat made it a little bit of a game late. But the Cavs still get a win. They go up 2-0. The game that really looks like it's going to matter, one of the few series that I think is actually in doubt, is the Rockets-Warriors series. And Jalen Green, have a day, friend. He sucked in game 1. Well, he said, I don't suck today, Bubba. 38 points in game 2 for Jalen Green as the Rockets get a 109-94 win. Slow start for Steph Curry. Draymond Green was essentially a non-factor, and maybe the biggest deal and what could be the difference in this series is in the first quarter, Jimmy Butler takes a hard fall, does not return. They're saying he's got a bruised pelvis. I've never bruised my pelvis. I imagine
that looks like it hurt.
It doesn't feel good. But when you only get 3 points out of famous Jim Butler, it's going to be tough. And Jonathan Kuminga kind of took his minutes and limped his way to 11 super inefficient points. Some of the guys that I like on the Warriors just aren't getting looks. Like Trace Jackson Davis is not getting much playing time. I'm not sure what to think of this series. I felt like the Warriors could be live as a dog, but when the Warriors came out and they were favored in the series, I was like, that just doesn't make sense to me. The Rockets are the 2 seed for a reason, and the Warriors, if they don't have Jimmy Butler and it becomes just a Steph Curry show, I think the Rockets could absolutely win this series.
I don't think there's any question, because I think they figured it out last night. You bully, you out-physical the Golden State Warriors, and you can beat them. They're a finesse team, Draymond Green aside. And if Jimmy Butler's out, I don't think they have any chance. I think the Rockets win the series easily if Butler's not in there. But you saw it last night, AJ, when you watched that game. Houston just bullied Golden State, and they just wilted under that. The Jimmy Butler injury was unfortunate. It was not a dirty hit, in my opinion. It was just an accident. But if he misses any time at all, Golden State's in trouble. And I think Houston is just a better team overall. And again, if they play that bully ball that they played last night, I just don't think Golden State can hang with them.
Yeah, the series, when it started, the Warriors were minus 200 favorites. Now that they're 2 games in Houston through, the Warriors minus 180 to win the series as it shifts back to Golden State. So if you think the Rockets are live, you get plus 150 on them. It's a decent comeback on the Rockets. It's just the Warriors playoffs home. It's a tough environment, especially I think for a young team. But I'm with you. It boils down to, is Jimmy Butler healthy or not? Because he's been the real catalyst for this kind of turnaround of the season, this late season turnaround for the Warriors, where suddenly the Warriors became a team that we're actually looking at as, okay, I could see this happening. It's because Jimmy Butler's been so good and gives them that. And, you mentioned outside of Draymond, Jimmy's another guy that gives them some kind of toughness.
Yeah.
And having him off the floor is it's a tough thing for them, man. And quite frankly, Draymond is, I don't know. Draymond just may be washed.
He might be.
It may be the end of the road for that dude. And I know that his stuff hasn't always shown up in the stat sheets. But as I was watching last night, it's like even the stuff that he used to do that didn't show up in the stat sheet, he's not really doing anymore. And I just don't know how viable he is especially. I certainly don't think as the second best player, which is what, if there's no Jimmy Butler, that's what Draymond's going to be asked to be. I don't like their chances.
That whole team, AJ, and I love Steph Curry. He's been one of my favorite players since he entered the league. I love the guy, and he's by no means washed, but that entire team's getting a little bit long in the tooth. They've got the experience. That's good. All of that is great, but I think the Golden State Warriors run is over. I really do. And no offense to anybody, but I just think it's over. I think Draymond Green, you get Jimmy Butler, that was a good pickup. But if he's done, the Warriors are done. And I think they're done anyway. I just think Houston's just too talented for this team. Overall, they're gonna play physical, hard-nosed basketball that Golden State is just not good at. And I think Houston wins this series. I really do. And I really thought that all along. And I was shocked, like you, that Golden State was a favorite in this particular series. But that's just reputation, plain and simple.
Well, it's also an experienced team against a team full of guys who really haven't been to the playoffs, haven't been there and done it. And I think you saw that kind of rear its head in game one. I think they were a little overwhelmed, but I do think now that they've got one under their belts, they're probably a little more comfortable. They looked much more comfortable in game two. And you're right. And the young talent on Golden State, somebody's got to step up. Brandon Podziemski, a guy who they're kind of like counting on to be a secondary scorer. He was 0 of 5 from the field last night. So 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists. He was zeros all the way across. They got to get something out of him. Moses Moody, I thought, had some success, and they didn't go to him as much as I thought they should. The thing about having this old dog team is it feels like Steve Kerr only trusts his old dogs.
Yes.
And sometimes these younger guys, like a Moses Moody, I'd put the ball in their hands a little bit more, and especially when you're getting your ass kicked, and hope that something can come from it. He just seems to have more faith in some of these older dudes.
And I don't blame him. Honestly, I don't blame him. But at some point in time, you're right. They got to try and ride with him because somebody is going to have to step up, whether that's Kuminga or however you say Brandon's last name. I mean, seriously, it's somebody's got to step up other than Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler, especially if you lose Butler for a game or two.
I think one of the better series so far, in fact, the two series that have been the best, I think, the Knicks Pistons and the Nuggets Clippers, they're both in action tonight. Both shifting venues, tied at 1. The Knicks go to Detroit. Knicks are a 1.5 point favorite on the road. This is another one where I didn't understand when the series prices came out, Joe, the Pistons being plus 300 underdogs. I don't think the Knicks are very good.
They're not.
I like all year long, it's been real predictable. The Knicks are if you're Charlotte or Brooklyn or Washington, the Knicks are going to kick your ass because you got a bunch of you're a scrub team, and the Knicks are going to make you look like scrubs. But anytime a team shows a little bit of fight, a team that's even kind of good or close to equal talent with the Knicks lose. And I think the Pistons are a more talented team than people want to give them credit for. Cade Cunningham is an absolute freak right now.
Awesome.
Jalen Duren gives them a level of toughness, and I think the Pistons are just as good as the Knicks, and now the series shifting to home. I won't be surprised if the Pistons win tonight, and I still think the Pistons are live in this series.
Look, I think the Pistons are a team to be reckoned with. I love them. And look, say what you will about the Knicks, I just don't trust them. When have they ever done anything with all the hype that they always come in with? And it's like the Knicks are this and the Knicks are that. And then they fold in the playoffs. It's just what they do. And I have no reason to believe they're not going to do it again this series. Look, you give this Detroit Pistons team a little confidence, which I think they got with that win in game 2. Now they're going home. They're going to be a tough team for the Knicks to beat in games 3 and 4 for that matter. So they've got their hands full, the Knicks do, and it would not surprise me if it's another first-round exit for the fellas from New York.
I think this is one of the things that's always telling to me on how fans feel about their chances in these games. The cheapest ticket to get in the door tonight at Little Caesars Arena in Detroit is $140. That's the cheapest ticket you can find online sitting up in the nosebleeds.
Yep.
If you want to go to the Grizzlies game in Memphis tonight and you have $8 in your pocket, you can go watch the Grizzly take on the Thunder. I don't think Grizzlies fans, I don't think the Grizzlies themselves believe they can even compete in this series. I think these two games have really kind of it to me, it's shown how great this Thunder team is. I think the Thunder are going to win the title. They just are so deep. And I was telling Rob this yesterday. The way they play reminds me of the Houston Cougars in that the last minute of the game to them, they're playing as hard as the first minute of the game. And they were up by 15, 16 points at the end of that game the other night. And Chet Holmgren is like streaking down the floor, blocking a layup off the backboard, then going down and dunking the ball, like still playing like the game is on the line. And when a team has talent and they play that hard, that is a really, really terrifying combination. And the Grizzlies, it's like, if John Morant doesn't score 1 million points, they're not even competing. This Thunder team is a monster right now.
Look, Memphis is just a train wreck. I mean, let's face it, they're a train wreck. Not taking anything away from Oklahoma City, because I agree with you. And I think Oklahoma City's, they're hungry, and they hear everybody out there talking about that, well, they're too young. It's not their time yet. They can't beat the Celtics, and they're not even going to win the West. And I've heard that on many different occasions. And so I think all of that, they got a little chip on their shoulders. But they see a Memphis team that is just, it's like a shark with blood in the water, and they're just killing them. They're doing exactly what they should do. Memphis has no business being in the playoffs. They're a complete train wreck. And so Oklahoma City's taking advantage of. This is going to be a sweep. I don't think there's any question about it. And I wouldn't even waste the $8 to go see them play tonight. So
buy a couple ribs or something.
Exactly.
You know.
I'd rather do something else with that money. But yeah, Memphis is toast, and Oklahoma City's going to move on. And it wouldn't surprise me if they win the West and win the whole damn thing, for that matter.
In fact, it would shock me if they don't win the West. That's how good I think the Thunder are. Like if somebody in the West, now the Celtics and the Cavs, I think, are good enough to give them a run for it. If someone in the Western Conference beats this team, I will be shocked.
Yeah.
I don't see the team that is even close to their level in the Western Conference. The Nuggets Clippers play game 3 tonight. They've split the first two. I want to talk about that game tonight. We'll do that on the other side of this break. I'll say this. Kawhi Leonard is a scary man when he's healthy.
Stop it.
Right now he's healthy. We'll talk about that on the other side.
That won't last.
It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1.
Join us for San Antonio's premier Fiesta event, Taste of the Northside, presented by HEB, Thursday, May 1st at 6. Experience gourmet food and wine tastings, sip on elevated spirits and cold brews, and enjoy live entertainment at our new location, The Rock at La Cantera. All proceeds benefit Brighton Center, serving children with disabilities and developmental delays in San Antonio. Limited all-inclusive tickets are $300 in advance and can be purchased at tasteofthenorthside.org. Viva Fiesta!
John, what do you think about these tariffs? What do you think is going to happen? Well, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. The prices on used cars have suddenly come up because the cost has gone up. And at GiveMeTheVin.com, we're paying more. Go to GiveMeTheVin.com, put in your license plate, and see for yourself. We're paying more today than we were yesterday. Remember, the tariffs have raised the car prices, and we are paying extra. GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer. Sell us your car.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio where I've practiced for more than 30 years. And San Antonio has really grown since I started practicing law. The risk of injury in a car crash today is greater than it's ever been because every day we're forced to share our roads with 80,000-pound 18-wheelers and some truly dangerous drivers. If you or a family member is injured in a car crash, know this. The insurance companies are mobilized against you. They have highly trained adjusters and a long roster of attorneys with one job: pay as little as possible. Their techniques are extensive, and I believe you have zero chance of obtaining a fair recovery on your own. If you're involved in a car crash, you need to hire an attorney as soon as possible after the collision and before you speak to the insurance company's adjusters. Now, I do not have a comic book nickname. I do not call myself the Law Eagle, the Tiger Lawyer, the Law Chupacabra. I think the practice of law needs to be taken more seriously. If you've been injured, call me, Jason Thompson, for a free consultation. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 210-900-0400, or my website, alawyerforus.com.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
This is an announcement to all United States vehicle owners who own a 2003 or newer vehicle with a manufacturer's warranty about to expire or no warranty coverage at all. With a struggling economy and the cost of living on the rise, Endurance is now offering an affordable, low-cost vehicle coverage plan to the general public. As of today, you could be one of millions of drivers that now may qualify to have your vehicle protected under this coverage and have all future covered auto repairs paid directly to the repair shop for you. You pick your plan. You pick your deductible. You even pick the repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental coverage is included. Get your vehicle protected now and save your wallet from costly vehicle repairs. A toll-free number has been established for you to call for your free 5-minute quote and to see if you qualify. The number to call is 800-247-1146. 800-247-1146. Again, that's 800-247-1146.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month. And that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime.
Morning Huddle 94.1. San Antonio's sports star. My old buddy Joe Ryan sitting in for Robert Thompson today. Thank you, Joe.
What's up? Glad to be here.
What a time we've had. What a time we've had. You know, sharing war stories. Joe and I served together in Nam.
Yeah.
You know, so we've been talking about that throughout the day.
I pulled you out of that POW camp, but you've never thanked me for that.
I know. Well, unfortunately, a tiger ate my foot that day, and you did nothing about it. You kept dragging me, even though the tiger was biting down on my foot.
Well, I mean, I figure what the hell? You didn't need that one anyway. You got another one.
That was my best foot, though. That was, you know, and now when people say put your best foot forward, I say I can't.
That damn tiger!
A friggin' tiger ate my best foot. I am probably most excited about this game of all the basketball games tonight. I say that I don't know if I'm going to watch it because I'll be watching a hockey game tonight. I'm going to flip over and probably check out some Nugs Clippers though at some point because I am interested in this series. I think that this is really a fascinating matchup because as long as Kawhi Leonard is healthy, these Clippers are scary. And like what we've seen, the resurgence of Kawhi in the last, 6 weeks or so, this is looking like vintage Kawhi Leonard. Now, I'm with you. You said this before the break. It ain't going to last. I believe that too. This guy is a fragile man, but this version of Kawhi is a top 5-10 player in the league. And I don't know that the Nuggets have any answer for that. I mean, obviously Joker is still one of the two best players in the world, if not the best. But this version of Kawhi is a real matchup problem for a lot of teams. And I think a matchup problem for the Nuggets, certainly. What do you think of this series so far? And like, how far can the Clippers go if they don't run into health issues?
Well, look, it's been the best series of the first round so far. I don't think there's any question about it. Both of the first two games have been tight. But I'll just say this. Look, and I agree with you. Number two is pretty good when he's healthy and when he's playing. The guy's he's a talented individual. There's no doubt. And you can't move around from that. But with all his heroics in game 2, and the Joker, with his 7 turnovers in that ball game, still had a triple-double, and he seems to do that in his sleep. The Clippers still barely pulled that game out. And so Kawhi's got to be special, and they've got to have some other guys step up as well. But I still think Denver, with the Joker, and I believe he is the best player in the NBA right now. I don't think anybody's better than he is. They're going to be a tough out. I think this series goes 7 games. I really do, because I just think that both of these teams are evenly matched because Joker makes it that way. I think James Harden is James Harden. He's going to give you what he gives you. But, I mean, you talk about a guy that's long in the tooth. So Kawhi's got to be special for the Clippers to win. If he's not, as he was not in game 1, Kawhi was not special at all. He had a horrible game in game 1. And so he's got to be special. If he's not, I don't think the Clippers have a shot.
The difference is, though, when Kawhi had an off game 1, Zubac was great. James Harden was great. Norman Powell was great. Like, it feels more like the Nuggets are so reliant on Joker being perfect.
Yeah.
And the Clippers, one of their guys can have an off day and they're still in the mix. The Clippers the Nuggets can't afford that. I mean, if Jokic, and listen, like you said, Jokic seems to do this in his sleep. Like he is the best player in the world, but I don't know who else I trust right now on Denver. Jamal Murray is clearly like a shell of the Jamal Murray that he was when they won the title. I don't trust Michael Porter Jr. It's just hard for me to find. And I mean, Russell Westbrook can give away a game just as quickly as he can win it. I don't know who else I can trust on this team besides Jokic. And it feels like the Clippers are more of a complete team right now, which it's surprising to say, because at the beginning of the season, it felt like the Clippers were the Kawhi Leonard show, and then he was going to get hurt, and then they were going to not make the playoffs. This has been the best Kawhi we've seen in many years, and the Clippers are right here in the mix. I'm with you. I think this goes 7. I just think it's a matter of, I mean, like you said, Joker played almost a perfect game, but I say that. As I was watching the game, I was almost shocked at the end of the day to read his stat line, because the turnovers were so egregious. And sometimes I don't know why. I love Joker, but there are times where it feels like he just doesn't want to be out there. It's almost like he's bored or something. I don't know. I know, like, there's moments in the game where he's supposed to be on defense and he's thinking about his horses or thinking about some other crap. He's like the opposite of Mamba mentality. Like, everything in the world is important to him except basketball. And guys like that, it's hard for me to see them like having. I mean, it's shocking that he's had the sustained level of success he's had. That said, on the other side, at any moment, Kawhi could grab onto his hip or his back and be done. Or James Harden could turn into the guy who goes 0 for 11 from 3. Yep. None of that would shock me, which is why this series is so fascinating to me. But I think the Clippers getting a split in Denver was really important for them.
No doubt. No doubt. Look, AJ, this series is going to go to 7. I just don't see any reason why it won't, unless one of those guys you talked about, ends up hurt, which again would not surprise me.
Not at all.
Kawhi Leonard's not going to go 15 of 19 every night. I mean, he's just not. I mean, he's good, but he's not going to do that. And so he's got to be extremely special. And I just don't think that he's going to be night in and night out. And you talk about Joker. I think Joker is one of those guys, right? I don't know that basketball may be 3rd down on the list for him, but nobody has an answer for him. I mean, he could just do so many things with ease. whether he's under the basket or shooting threes or whatever he's doing or passing the basketball. He just does it with ease, and it's very difficult to stop this guy. And I think we're all prisoners of the moment, AJ. I really do. The Clippers started playing good basketball at the end of the season. The Golden State Warriors started playing good basketball toward the end of the season. But that doesn't mean they're going to be good playoff teams. And I just don't I'm not buying into either one of those teams right now. And I'm not really buying into the Nuggets either, which is why I think the Clippers could win this series, because I don't think the Nuggets are going to have a big run. But I just think a lot of times as sports fans, we're all prisoners of the moment. A hot team coming into the playoffs doesn't necessarily make a Western Conference Finals champion.
Well, since March, since the calendar flipped to March, Kawhi's had a lot more of these high-level games than he's not. There does seem to have been a switch flipped in that dude. Averaged, at 27 points per game last month. I mean, it feels like he's finding that groove again. And when he starts hitting threes, oh man, it's a nightmare for teams, because that's not what he's supposed to be great at. So when he adds that part to his game, you let that dude hit 4 or 5 threes on you, it becomes a problem. And I really also think that Joker carries so much of a load offensively for the Nuggets that guys like Zubac are going to have some success on the other end, because it's not like the Nuggets are going to say, Joker, we need you to tighten up on defense, because they understand that he's got to be their offense. He has everything has to go through him. So whatever he gives you on defense, you get. It's almost like Steph Curry. No one's going to say, Steph, you've got to play better defense or else. Yep. Because you need that guy on the offensive end. So anything you get from him on defense is a bonus. But right now, he's not doing a great job defending Zubac. I am fascinated by this series. Now, that said, I mean, the winner of this series plays Oklahoma City. So we might just be we're doing all this talk, and I think Oklahoma City is going to go in and just spank whichever one of these teams comes out of it, especially if this thing goes 7 and Oklahoma City's just sitting around on the couch, chilling out, eating Cheetos.
And they will be
watching, saying, "Oh, who's the next who's the next chum being thrown into our tank here?"
John Morant's already got plans for Cabo. I'm telling you, they want this thing over as quickly as possible.
Well,
Memphis does.
John Morant's already thinking about his next celebration. It's going to be a rocket launcher. The grenade. Once the grenade is outlawed, he is going to get an anti-tank missile. It's going to be a big show for John Morant.
Yes.
So either way, we've got some good NBA games tonight. Who do you like tonight, Clippers or Nuggets?
I like the Clippers tonight. I think they'll win it. It's a game at home. The Nuggets just have to split. They need to do the exact same thing the Clippers did in Denver. So, but I like the Clippers. But again, I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think any of these games in this series are going to be get out of hand. I think they're all going to be close games, come right down to the wire. And again, this is by far the best first-round series of the playoffs thus far.
Are there any of these series that are currently 2-0? That would be Celtics, Pacers, Cavs, and Thunder. Can you picture a world where any of those teams lose their series, like where the other team's able to come back and get it over on them?
I don't think so. I guess the only one that I would look at that maybe has a shot would be the Bucks, but they're just not playing good basketball. And Indiana's hungry, man. They're feisty. So I like the way Indiana's playing. I don't think by any means it's going to be a sweep. I don't think any of those series are going to be a sweep that you just mentioned. I think the Cavs will get beat. I think Miami is talented enough to get a game or maybe 2 in that series. And Orlando, just the way they play defense. And then again, what's the health of Tatum? Is he going to be back? I feel like he will, but defensively, Orlando's pretty damn good. And I think if anybody can slow them down enough to get a game, it might be the Magic.
I wonder if you talked about being a prisoner of the moment, and the Clippers looking so good recently. Because the Bucks have looked so bad recently, it is sometimes like it's easy to forget that they still have one of the 3 or 4 best players in the world on their team. And if Dame Lillard can, I don't know, get back to even 70% of what he's capable of being, I don't know. It looked last game like he came back too early.
He did. Yeah, I think so, too.
He looked like a shell of Dame Lillard.
Yeah.
But
he'll get better for sure.
But of all the teams who one guy can take over and win for them, Milwaukee's the least shocking to me when it happens. Like when Giannis has one of these 45-point nights, 15 rebounds, it's like, oh yeah, well that's what they do sometimes. Like it wouldn't be shocking at all to me if like they won a game based purely on Giannis just having an absolute show of a game. Whereas I don't think the Heat are going to win a game. I don't think the Heat are all that talented, quite frankly.
They're not.
And I think that the Cavaliers have figured out the puzzle. It's the Heat can't take Tyler Hero off the floor because he's their only good offensive player.
Yeah.
And Tyler Hero can't be on the floor and play defense. So the Cavs are just saying, whoever Tyler Hero's covering, you're going to have yourself a night. Go right at him, embarrass him. And literally everyone on Cleveland is like chomping at the bit to be the guy who goes and puts up 30 on Tyler Hero because he just doesn't have an answer on that end right now.
And I love Cleveland. I love the way they play.
I do too, man. I think that's a really good squad.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit our last break. When we come back, we're going to give away a Fiesta medal. Yeah. We'll take a look at the last mock draft of the season. We are 10 hours, 27 minutes, and 1 second away from the NFL draft. Unbelievable. Time is flying, Vic. I mean, this is
right?
It feels like yesterday we were 70-something hours away, but it wasn't. That was literally 4 days ago. So, here we are. It's upon us. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working trouble spots at 35 northbound Tupperwine. That's a stall taking up a right lane. Northbound 35 just past Judson Road. That's an accident. Left lane blocked. A little bit of stop and go from Thousand Oaks. Got a stall at I-10 eastbound as you approach Santa Clara, far east side of town. That stall taking up the right lane. About a 10-minute delay, slow from Trainer Hale. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. And now a Progressive ad brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Drivers who switch to Progressive could save big with Progressive. This has been a Progressive ad from Progressive. See if you can save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE or Progressive.com.
An accident can leave you struggling to pay for medical bills. At Thomas J. Henry, we believe you deserve justice no matter your financial situation. That's why you don't pay us unless we win your case. Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. San Antonio, Texas.
If you woke up this morning feeling good about yourself, no pain keeping you out of your life, carry on about your day. You're doing things that we all hope to be. But if you're like most of us, there's something probably painful in your life that's keeping you out of the things you want to get done. Some of us were dealing with bad feet. A lot of us have lower back issues. Maybe it's those stress pains that start in the middle of your back and work your way up forward where you get all that tense in your shoulders and just kind of get yourself going. Arosty is out there to fix that. Arosty providers are highly trained medical professionals that take on above and beyond what they began in the business. And what I'm saying is, to be an Arosty provider, you are already a physical therapist, a chiropractor, a general practitioner. You're already in the medical business, and you've achieved something higher, Arosty certification. And Arosty certification is a way of getting people out of pain in non-traditional ways. What I'm saying is, it has nothing to do with pills to dull the pain. It has nothing to do with some kind of long-term process to get you out of the pain. It's fixing the pain and fixing it fast. And let me tell you, it works. Now, for me specifically, it was lower back issues. I'd always had those twinges, those seizures where they just kind of grab you and hold on for about a month and you just kind of hope it lets go. I limped into an Arosty provider about 8 years ago. And not only did they fix me, they showed me how to fix it when it happened again. And from that point on, that problem was fixed. That's why I'm an Arosty patient and will be for life. That's why I referred my friends and my family to go, and that's why I'm telling you about it. So if you're dealing with pain right now, know there is an answer that can be fixed quickly. On average, under 4 visits, Arosty patients are back in the game. Here's what you need to know. You don't need a referral. You can call them right now, 1-800-404-6050. Their website is arasti.com. There's a map of all the providers around San Antonio. I'll bet there's one less than 10 minutes from where you are now. Listen to me. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. There's a fix. It's Arasti. Call them today. Let them take care of you. And when they do, come on by and thank me.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into. And that's MetaShare. Maybe you've heard joining MetaShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month. And that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MetaShare works too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Keys to Progress and Conservation, sponsored by Progressive Insurance. The first Earth Day was celebrated 55 years ago. This year's theme is Our Power, Our Planet. One young singer from PS22 in Staten Island, New York, summed up the significance of it the best.
Earth Day is a day we realize we have to protect the earth.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. You could save big when you bundle your auto, home, motorcycle, RV, or boat. Visit Progressive.com.
Hey, listen up, San Antonio. Multiple tours overseas, long nights monitoring cyber activity, years of protecting the country. It all adds up at University of Maryland Global Campus. Earn up to 90 credits for prior learning, military experience, and training. We call that credit where credit is due. Whether you're active duty and looking at what's next, or a veteran looking for something new, our degrees and certificate programs teach the application of emerging technologies and enduring life skills. So get started on a degree or certificate with personalized local support services and online and hybrid courses right here in San Antonio. UMGC keeps your educational goals attainable with no-cost digital materials replacing textbooks in most courses, reduced tuition rates for eligible service members and their families, and scholarships for those who qualify. Get started here in San Antonio. Visit UMGC at San Antonio or umgc.edu/SATX.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Morning Huddle 94.1. I've been watching, Vic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on and save yourself, Vic. What a sound! What a voice!
Yeah, this is an awesome track.
Go on and save yourself. Take it out on me. Oh, voice of an angel. R.I.P. I like to think Chris Cornell and Mongo McMichael are hanging out in heaven right now.
Right?
Playing riffs. Some of them are doing heroin. Some of them are doing steroids, but they're happy.
But they're happy.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's all that matters.
That's all that matters, man.
Yeah.
Some guys like heroin. Some guys like steroids. Big deal.
Sure. Yeah. Some guys like both.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Nice little cocktail.
That's right. A little mix it up. Hey, you're shooting it up. Do you put that into your arm or your ass? I don't know.
Either way, doesn't matter.
I'm not sure how
it gets in there.
Not sure how that would work. Save yourself. That's what I would say. All right. This is the last one I'm going to give, friends. The last mock draft.
Yeah, this is it.
Oh man. My buddy Lance Zerline, who I worked with in Houston for a long time. This is mock draft 4.0 he released That was just last night or early this morning, I suppose. It was actually early this morning. He released his final version. And at the top, there's no big surprises. Cam Ward, he says, writing's on the wall. This is the third time in 4 years the Titans have drafted a quarterback. They are going with the philosophy of keep throwing things against the wall till something sticks. Malik Willis didn't stick. Will Levis didn't stick.
No.
Maybe Cam Ward will stick. I don't know. I'm not totally sold. I think he's got a better chance than those two guys. I hated Will Levis coming out of college. I didn't know why anybody wanted Will Levis. And sure, that's maybe the most right I've ever been, is that Will Levis sucks. If I had to be a draft, like a guru, one of these guys who writes up players, I'm wrong. I feel like it's flipping coins a lot of the time. Like, there's a lot of guys that I'm like, oh, that guy's going to be great. This guy's going to be a scrub. The one guy I was most sure of, like, I would have bet my house that Will Levis stunk, and Will Levis stinks.
He does.
Cleveland, Travis Hunter at 2, Giants, Abdul Carter at 3, Will Campbell 4 to the Patriots, Ashton Ginty 5 to the Jags. One of the guys who has kind of rocketed up draft charts. It's funny because this guy was all over the top 10 during the season, and then sort of fell out of favor, it seems, and has now worked his way back into the top 10 conversation, is Kelvin Banks, the tackle from Texas.
Yeah.
The Raiders say that Lance thinks the Raiders are the guy who jumps on him. It says Banks can play left tackle, right tackle, or move to guard if needed. This is a rough year for offensive tackles, so the Raiders strike early in the trenches, getting a versatile guy here. I like Kelvin Banks. And I like what Lance said, that even if he can't play left tackle, there's going to be uses for him all over the line. He's a very versatile guy. I like him quite a bit. It's got the Jets taking Tyler Warren, the tight end, at 7. He's not the, he's the pass catching tight end. He is the new sexy tight end. Not surprising the Jets are looking there. The Jets wasting a pick on a tight end when their offensive line is like,
it sucks.
5 homeless dudes is about the most typical thing ever. Carolina, Jalen Walker, the edge rusher from Georgia. It's got the Colts trading up at 9 with the Saints. They get Colston Loveland out of Michigan, who is also more of a pass catcher than a blocker. Probably a worse blocker than Loveland is, or excuse me, than Warren is, but looks like he can be a pretty dynamic playmaker. But it's interesting to see the Saints moving down. And my thought when that happened was, well, the Saints must be moving down to take a quarterback, but we'll get to that in a moment. Yeah. Bears at 10 take Omarion Hampton. 49ers at 11 take Mason Graham, who, for whatever reason, seems like he's falling down charts lately. This is a guy who a lot of people had compared to Aaron Donald, like a motor guy, like a guy who just goes so hard that it's hard to explain how good he can be. I think maybe now they're starting to say, oh, maybe the tools aren't there for him, but we'll see. I mean, even at 11, it seems like a pretty safe place to take him, a guy that was talked about as top 5 even a couple weeks ago. He's got the Cowboys taking Armand Membu, the tackle from Missouri. And he says,
I wouldn't be mad at that. Honestly.
He says Dallas wants to fix the trenches. Membu falling to 12 allows the Cowboys to pluck the talented right tackle and plug him in quickly. And I wouldn't be shocked if Armand Membu ends up being the left tackle and Tyler Guyton were to move to the other side. So,
or on the bench.
I mean, yeah, there's although I mean, they don't have anything on the bench that they could put up either. I think they're stuck. They're going to have him out there somewhere. Walter Nolan from Ole Miss to the Dolphins at 13. The Saints, who he had trading down to 14, take McMichael Williams, the edge rusher from Georgia. So my thought that they would trade down and get a quarterback, not so fast. That does not happen in this mock draft. The Falcons take Shamar Stewart, the Aggie, at 15, the edge rusher. Tyler Booker, the Alabama guard, goes 16 to the Cardinals. A guy who I haven't seen a lot of. This is maybe a surprise. Gray Zabel, who's the like a guard / center from North Dakota State. This is a really smart pick for the Bengals because the Bengals need their offensive line is so bad, but it also feels like, God, they've got to get somebody on defense.
They've got to. That's why I don't buy this one. And I get the offensive line is important, man, but they've got to improve that defense. And I just don't see it, especially if you lose Hendrickson.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You've got to get a pass rusher or somebody in there that can fill that void. But offensive line is a need, certainly, but that defense is just awful.
Seahawks at 18, Ted McMillan, the fall ends, and Teteroa McMillan goes 18 to the Seahawks, which I think it would be a good bargain if he's to fall
It'd be
that
a hell
far.
of a deal for Seattle, yeah.
The Bucks at 19 get Jahdae Barron. I don't know if he's going to play corner or safety in the NFL. I think he's probably able to play both. He's one of my favorite players in the draft. I wish he was going to be around at 30. He won't be. They've got him 19 to the Bucks, 20 Emeka Ibuka to the Denver Broncos. They've got to get some offensive weapons there for Bo Nix. 21 Shedeur Sanders to Colorado, and Lance says it's feeling more and more likely unless someone jumps the Steelers. Mike Tomlin seems like the right fit for Sanders, but it'd be interesting to see how quickly Pittsburgh would want to bring along Shedeur. I don't know. I mean, and when he puts it that way, what he's basically saying is, does Pittsburgh still bring in Aaron Rodgers and let Shedeur marinate? Or do they say, we don't want Aaron Rodgers, Shedeur's going to have to start right away? Because Pittsburgh doesn't have a viable quarterback, a viable starting quarterback on their roster.
Well, Mason Rudolph is serviceable, right? And he's a backup
starter.
guy.
Mason Rudolph's a good starter. Like, if you go into the season with Mason Rudolph as your starter, you're basically saying, we aren't a playoff team.
Well, no, but are they? That's the thing.
They seem to be every year.
Team? They do, and they lose in the first round. I mean, at some point in time, you got to rebuild, don't you? You got to start over and do something. And they have not been able to find a quarterback since Ben Roethlisberger left. Getting rid of both Fields and Wilson, I think, was a mistake. I mean, you keep one of those guys around just to be your guy until you can find the next, and maybe that is Shedeur Sanders. But I just don't think that guy's a day one starter. So if they do this and they draft him at 21, they're going to have to go out and find somebody. I don't think Rodgers wants to play for the Steelers, quite frankly. And so I don't think he's the answer there. So do you go and make a trade for a Kirk Cousins or bring somebody else in? But Shedeur Sanders, I just think you would hurt this kid if you force him to be your starting quarterback day one. I think that hurts his progress. He needs to cook a little more.
I don't think that Aaron Rodgers really wants to play for Pittsburgh either, but I think the only spot that would have even made sense that he would prefer to be in is Minnesota. And once Minnesota said no, I think Aaron Rodgers kind of realizes if he's going to have another year as a starting quarterback in the NFL, it's going to be in Pittsburgh, because I can't think of anywhere else it would be at this point.
Yeah, I don't either.
I get maybe Cleveland.
Unless it's New Orleans, but
I guess that could be a scenario too. Number 22, he's got Kenneth Grant going to the Chargers. Harbaugh taking a Michigan man, no surprise there. 23, Matthew Golden, the Texas wide receiver, to the Packers, which that's a great get for them if they're able to get Golden at 23. That would be a nice fit with Jordan Love. Maxwell Harrison, the big corner out of Kentucky, who I like quite a bit. Very, very fast. 24 to the Vikings. 25, Donovan Jackson, the offensive guard to the Texans. Makes a lot of sense.
No surprise.
The Texans have to get better on the offensive line. In fact, if the Texans did anything but offensive line, I would be shocked. They are just so atrocious. And just the fact that even though they've added some things, the fact that DeMeco Ryans made it a point to get Laramie Tunsil out, and Laramie Tunsil was the best player on that line, even though he was no longer playing at an elite level. What DeMeco Ryans said about building the right, I want a good offensive line room. I want my room to look a certain way, which means basically what he's saying is Laramie Tunsil wasn't a good example for younger guys. I think he's looking to build this offensive line like in his mold. Like, he's looking for guys who fit what he believes an offensive line should look like. So I think he's probably got a real good idea of what he's looking for here. The Rams take Jahad Campbell out of Alabama, a guy who I've seen kind of dropping in drafts. He's a edge rusher / linebacker. I'm not really sure what position he's going to play in the NFL, so I could see him going just about anywhere.
Yeah.
Derek Harmon to the Ravens, a massive defensive tackle, which the Ravens seem to love those types of guys. Haloti Ngata was that guy for a long time. Derek Harmon looks like he could be the next gigantic run stopper for Baltimore. Detroit, Mike Green, Marshall edge rusher. I haven't seen a lot about this guy. I'm not going to pretend like I know everything about him. I didn't see a whole lot of Marshall games. But I did talk to Lance about this guy, and he told me that this is like a motor guy. And Dan Campbell loves dudes, like he always says, bite your knecaps off. Like that's what he's looking for. And someone to pair with Aiden Hutchinson, and maybe
that would be tough. Yeah.
And maybe remember when Aiden Hutchinson was gone, there was no pass rush. And I think maybe that's the key, is making sure that if Aiden Hutchinson ever gets hurt again, you've got somebody who can get some pressure. Commanders, this would not shock me at all. Travion Henderson, the running back from Ohio State. I think the Commanders are going to really try and add some run pieces. I think they're trying to build their team kind of like the Eagles. I think they want their offense to look sort of eagle-y, which means I think they will they like a guy who can catch the ball out of the backfield. That's what they would get here. Here's where the Bills, number 30, he's got them trading out of the first round, and the Saints coming up and taking Jackson Dart. Now, this is the Saints need a quarterback probably more than anybody, maybe.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Because
them in Pittsburgh,
with Derek Carr out of the mix, at least for the start of the season, maybe the rest of the season, and they don't really like Derek Carr anyway, it seems. I think Derek Carr might have worked his way into one of the more underrated guys in the league.
Yeah.
Because I saw the Saints last year when Derek Carr played. They were a decent team. And then Derek Carr would be hurt, and the Saints suck. It's like, I don't know why they don't like this guy, other than he can't really stay healthy. But Jackson Dart is at least experienced enough. He's old enough. He's played in the SEC. Seems like maybe one of the more NFL-ready guys.
Maybe. I'm not sold on this guy. Maybe he proves me wrong, but I watched this kid play, and he just couldn't beat the good teams.
Yeah.
It seemed like, right? He always came up short against the better teams in the SEC.
Well, isn't that that's Lane Kiffin's reputation as well?
That's
so maybe
true
that's
too.
a Lane Kiffin thing just as much. And then it's got the Chiefs and the Eagles taking offensive tackles. Josh Simmons from Ohio State, Josh Connerly from Oregon, to help out the offensive line, which Kansas City is always looking for offensive line.
Yeah, watch for the Chiefs to trade for George Pickens, too. It wouldn't surprise me.
Would not shock me either. All right, friends. We've got 1 hour to go. What? 10 hours, 5 minutes, 54 seconds until draft day. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas Injury Lawyers. This is KTFM Floresville.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. That's Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
When it comes to vaccines, it's important to get the facts. The City of San Antonio Metropolitan Health District understands that keeping your child safe is your top priority. Vaccines are safe and can help your child's immune system fight harmful germs. They protect against serious diseases and can even save lives. Because when it comes to your child's health, it's time to get real about vaccines and get the facts. Learn more at sa.gov/health. sa.gov/health.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code WEALTH to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WEALTH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code WEALTH for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's going to audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going on in the Wolf Pack.
I don't understand the fetishes of the feet thing and all that. I don't get it.
So what is your line for weirdness?
My wife has really long hair and it smells good. That's nice.
What about her feet? Suck on her toes?
No, I don't suck on her toes. That's nasty. Nobody needs to be sucking on toes.
Well, there's the promo for the show this week.
The John Clay Wolf Show.
Catch the John Clay Wolf Show Saturdays from 9 a.m. to noon right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the final days of Diamonds Direct's annual spring sale. This is your last chance to get an extra 20% off our already renowned prices. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off your purchase. But hurry, these savings end soon. And this weekend only, we're open Sunday to give you an extra day to shop our expanded selection of trending engagement ring settings, his and hers wedding bands, must-have fine jewelry, and more. Time is running out. 20% off, store-wide savings. Visit diamondsdirect.com for details.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, we have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-931-3030. So if you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, call now. Find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-931-3030 to speak with a live person now.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We are working trouble spots at 35 northbound Tupperwine. That's a stall taking up a right lane. Northbound 35 just past Judson Road. That's an accident. Left lane blocked. A little bit of stop and go from Thousand Oaks. Got a stall at I-10 eastbound as you approach Santa Clara, far east side of town. That stall taking up the right lane. About a 10-minute delay. Slow from Trainer Hale. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA. Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
It's finally here. It's draft day. The Cowboys hold the 12th overall pick, and the Texans hold the 25th overall pick. You can catch it all tonight right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, starting right after the Blitz at 6. In last night's Game 2 action, the Celtics take a series lead 2-0 with a win over the Magic, and the Cavs get the win over the Heat 121-112, and the Rockets take the win over the Warriors. I'm Vic Brown with 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center brought to you by Centergenics. Book your appointment at fixmylow.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
9:01 on the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Friends, we are 9 hours, 58 minutes, and 57 seconds away from the NFL draft. Can you feel it in your plums, Joe?
Getting closer by the second. I love it. I'm ready for it.
It's there. I'm so excited. I could just...
Boy, woo!
Let's do it, man. Let's give away a 94-1 Fiesta medal. Oh, the people love these things. Have you gotten one, Joe? Do you have a Fiesta medal?
I do. I actually have two of them.
You got two?
I got two of them.
Very greedy, very selfish.
How about that? Yeah.
They only gave me one because I'm the new guy.
They gave me a rock.
But they get, you don't deserve one.
I don't get one.
Yeah, Vic, you're not famous, please. Yeah. This is for the celebrities only. People like Joe and I who are very, very famous. I know. Listen, you had your time in the sun, Slick Vic.
All right.
Let's go with caller number 6. You are going to win a 94-1 San Antonio Sports Star Fiesta medal. They've already told us I'll have some. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna do some Fiesta stuff. How much Fiesta do you do, Joe? Are you a big Fiesta man?
I'm really not. And it used to be a time where I couldn't because the Spurs were actually in the playoffs, and so you have to work. But
now you have no excuse.
Nowadays we have a lot more time. I'll be out at the Taste of the North Side. That's always a lot of fun. And there's a few events that I'll hit, but I'm not a crowd guy.
I don't really like crowds either.
Big crowds, yeah.
But I like food and I like beer. And I feel like because this is my first Fiesta, I need to go experience it.
You do.
Know?
I agree.
I have to eat a chicken on a stick with a jalapeno. There's some things you just have to do, is what Rob says.
Dude, chicken on a stick is fantastic.
Is it?
It's outstanding.
And get
might
you a
be
torta
the best
too.
Fiesta food. Yeah.
Torta.
Yeah.
Torta and flautas and chalupa.
I'm going to eat it as much as I can, dude.
There's probably shish kebab and maybe a turkey leg place. I don't know.
You know what? I'll try it all, and I'll try it all in one night, and I'll vomit everywhere. I'm going to drink 11 beers and then throw up everywhere too. So
that's Fiesta.
That's Fiesta.
Well, that's every day. It's a day that ends right? I mean, that's every day for you, AJ.
That's what they tell me. They say that Fiesta, you're allowed to do that. You're allowed to just eat all the food, drink all the beers, and throw up in the streets, and no one cares.
Nope. Nobody cares.
That's awesome.
Nobody
man.
cares.
That is awesome. I wanted to talk about college football for a minute because Dabo Swinney, who Dabo's a whiny bitch. He's like the top tier whiny bitch in college football. Like, he's a big powder. Like, when things aren't going his way, it's somebody else's fault. Well, man, it's not fair. Blah blah blah. And I also think because he's in the ACC and like no one cares about the ACC. Like he's suddenly trying to make sure he's not forgotten. But he thinks that things are headed towards a super conference, a super league. And he says the idea of reorganizing the top level of the college game away from the traditional conference model has been out there for a while. And this College Sports Tomorrow basically has come out and pitched this idea that could be worth billions of dollars. Now, that said, Dabo thinks it'd be about 40 or 50 teams, and so it'd kind of separate what used to be the Power Five from the riffraff. The thing is, the Big Ten and the SEC have said, we don't want anything to do with this. We're good in the current model because we're the kings in the castle. We've got all the power because we've got all the good football programs. So if they tried to make a super league of 40 or 50 other teams besides the Big Ten and the SEC, no one cares.
Nobody cares. And that's the problem. Until you get the Big Ten and the SEC on board, nobody's going to give a damn.
And why would they why would the Big Ten and the SEC want to share their money with North Carolina State.
They wouldn't.
Why? It doesn't make any sense. Like
No.
there's no benefit to them to saying, yeah, sure, Wake Forest, you can have some of our money. Ohio State, they're fine with it. No, of course they don't want to give their money to Wake Forest. It's crazy.
It's nuts, and this is not going to happen. And maybe it has been talked about. Look, I think they're talking about a lot of things in college football right now. But until they fix the problem that's going on, I don't see how you can do anything. And I'm talking about NIL and in particular the transfer portal. The college football needs to go to a pro football model. It's just that simple. And I wish somebody would have the stones to do that and fix this thing. I'm afraid it's going to take the politicians, and that could take forever, and have a lot of train wrecks before that happens. But look, we saw the debacle with the Tennessee kid who really screwed himself dramatically. But I think you're going to see a lot more of that coming up. And it's just there's just no control over anything, and kids can do whatever the hell they want. There's got to be some rules in place.
I think eventually this is going to be collectively bargained.
It's got to be.
And what we're going to see is, and we're going to see less and less of the dark collective type money, and it's going to be more of a revenue sharing, and it's going to be more open. Like we're going to see more of the books. We're going to see what guys actually make, which I think is really great news for the schools, because I think these players and their agents are lying about what they're being offered by other places. Like, I can't imagine that anyone thought Nico Iamaleava was worth, $6 million or whatever he thinks he's like. That's crazy. No one was ever going to like. So it's these guys who overplay their hands because they're like, and listen, when I was a program director, I had guys come in my office and say, hey, I've got an offer from this market, and they're going to pay me $250,000 a year. And you know what I would say? Hey, Bubba, good for you, man. That's awesome. So is this your notice? And then he'll go, oh, well, no, I'm just, I just want to let you know that it's out there. And, I'm still thinking about staying here. I just got to weigh all my options. And it's like, oh, well, that's funny, because like you're willing to give up like 60% of this new salary that you could get just to stay here. That's very sweet of you. Guys overplay their hands, and it feels like a lot of these players, because everything's in the dark, are overplaying their hands. And Nico was one of the first ones that got his bluff called, and it cost him his job, basically.
Well, it cost him his job and a lot of money.
Yeah.
I mean, now you're playing at UCLA instead of Tennessee. I mean, just that alone is bad for you.
But I also think that this is like what it's going to be. There's got to be a solution to these players who sign on and then change their mind. And like, then they want to keep the money that they signed on for. Like, did you see Nico's brother, who was at Arkansas? He took like $500,000, and then before he's played a game is like, oh, I'm homesick. I want to go back home to California.
Exactly.
But he doesn't want to give back that $500,000. It's like, dude, you didn't even play a game. Like it's just money's just flying all over the place, and there's no rules and regulations to it. So I think that's got to change at some point.
It has to. Look, I think it's my opinion, and I know I think Rob disagrees with that. Eventually, if you're writing checks for all this money and your team's not winning national championships, why am I going to keep writing checks? I mean, it just makes no sense. Eventually, the money's going to dry up. Some kid wants $5-6 million. You pay it to him, and then you're third in the SEC. It just eventually, I'm going to get tired of writing those checks, and until you win some national championships, and that's still hard to do. I don't care how many good players you're paying to be on your team. It's just it's tough.
Back to the NFL, something that's going to be kicked around a lot, I think tonight, maybe the next couple days. Where do you think Kirk Cousins ends up at this point?
Wow. Yeah, that's a great question, but I think he ends up somewhere.
You don't think he's in Atlanta?
I don't think so. I don't think he wants to be in Atlanta, and I think he's gonna do everything he can to get out of there. And look, it benefits Atlanta to get him out of there. Because you're going to go with Penix. He's your guy. You don't want an unhappy Kirk Cousins or anybody else there to mess with what you're trying to build. So I think they're going to get rid of him. And Atlanta may have to eat some of the salary. And I think that's been the biggest roadblock.
I don't think it's
right?
even a question they're going to have to eat some of that salary. They owe him $40 million guaranteed.
Right. So that's been the biggest roadblock thus far. They don't want to do that, but they're going to have to end up doing it. But I think he either gets traded. I think you have to consider New Orleans. You have to consider Pittsburgh.
I've heard Cleveland.
Cleveland's another place. Although, if you're Cleveland, you're going to suck most likely. Although if you have a Kirk Cousins and he has a good year, because I still believe that Cleveland defense is one of the top 5 in the NFL. So maybe that puts you over the top. But they got Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett right now.
Yeah, I also heard that I think Kirk Cousins is like the big sticking point is he doesn't want to be a backup. But one place that he'd be willing to go and maybe at least compete for the job would be Minnesota, because it's a place he's comfortable. And, I think Kevin O'Connell trusts him. And I think it would be prudent of the Vikings, because as much as they are invested in J.J. McCarthy, the Vikings are a really good team. Like, they cannot afford for their quarterback to cost them a season. Like, they're knocking on the door. I mean, they were one of the second best record in the NFC last year.
Absolutely. Yeah.
They could have potentially had a bye if they would have won their week 18 game against the Lions. So I think that's a team that it makes sense to have at least a veteran presence there to compete with JJ McCarthy. And I know he's your long-term solution, but if you've got a chance to say, hey, the best guy is going to play for us this year, I think Kirk Cousins it's worth at least kicking the tires on.
I don't think it's a bad idea. And look, I don't understand Minnesota's drafting J.J. McCarthy anyway. I'll be totally honest with you. I mean, obviously, we're going back to last year. We look at this kid. He did nothing at Michigan. I mean, I don't know how anybody can look at this guy and say he's the next. He's the guy. It really baffles me.
It's tools, Joe. That's what we go back to. It's like the guy was a super highly touted prospect coming out of high school, and the thought was that Harbaugh he didn't show off all the things that McCarthy can do, but he's got all these tools that are so great. He's got this arm that he just didn't use as much in college. And one thing I will say, if there's anybody I trust to look at a quarterback and go, give me that guy, I'm going to make something out of him, that Kevin O'Connell can do it. That dude made Sam Darnold look like Joe Montana. I would have never believed it possible. And he made Sam Darnold he made Sam Darnold a bunch of money. So,
no doubt.
If J.J. McCarthy's worth a lick, he's going to look good with this O'Connell.
But why do they keep looking for the next? I mean, if Aaron Rodgers is still out there, he could be the guy.
They already told him
Kirk
no.
Cousins.
They said no, Aaron Rodgers.
They said that, but have they shut the door on
I think they did. They don't want that joker.
I know. Well, I wouldn't want him either. I don't think anybody should want that guy. He's done. He needs to go away. But they're still looking for somebody. And if it's Kirk Cousins that they bring in to compete with J.J. McCarthy, how much confidence can they have in the guy? Or are they just saying, look, we need a bridge still, and we don't know if this guy's going to be 100% healthy going into this year, and we need a bridge guy.
I think that's
Kirk
what it boils
Cousins.
down to. I think they believe. I think they believe in McCarthy, but I think it's worth having questions about the guy's health. We've never seen him play a snap in the NFL.
Exactly.
And
he can hand the ball off like the best of them.
Oh yeah.
Boy, he's great at that.
All right. When we come back, I've got big news for Joe Reinagel.
Uh-oh.
One of Joe's favorite bands is going to be playing one of the biggest venues in the country. I think he's going to be excited. I think he's going to plan his trip. It's the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Still dealing with that trouble spot on the northeast side on 35 northbound Tupperwine. That's a stall in the right lane. And then an accident 35 northbound just past Judson Road in the right lane that has you slow from Thousand Oaks. Of course, it's day one of Fiesta San Antonio 2025, so expect some road closures, some delays in and around the downtown area. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Eosera Pain MD. Did you know wearing earbuds and hearing aids can cause impacted earwax? Eosera Wax Blaster MD can help you blast that wax at home in as little as 15 minutes. Grab Eosera Wax Blaster MD at CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, or eosera.com. That's EOSERA.com.
When it comes to vaccines, it's important to get the facts. The City of San Antonio Metropolitan Health District understands that keeping your child safe is your top priority. Vaccines are safe and can help your child's immune system fight harmful germs. They protect against serious diseases and can even save lives. Because when it comes to your child's health, it's time to get real about vaccines and get the facts. Learn more at sa.gov/health. sa.gov/health.
What's up, folks? This message is for all the home improvement DIYers out there. Sherwin-Williams is running the play of the season with their 4-day super sale. Get 40% off all paints and stains April 25th through the 28th. We're talking every color, folks. They still haven't made a Jets green, but their Shamrock shade is pretty darn close. That's 40% off paints and stains April 25th through the 28th. Shop the super sale online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney and have been representing people injured in auto and commercial truck collisions right here in San Antonio, my hometown, since 1994. Getting into a collision can be a life-altering event. Your health and recovery is the only thing that really matters, and anyone that's ever been injured in a traffic collision will tell you that. How do you get the insurance company to pay? Simple. Call me. As your attorney, my job is to get you through this. The decisions you make immediately after a collision are the most important decisions you can make. If you call me as soon as you can after a collision, I will help you make the right decisions for you and your family. Remember, I do not charge for a consultation. Growing up on the southwest side of San Antonio, when Loop 410 was the edge of town, I know how overwhelming it could be to face a giant insurance company all on your own. Just keep it simple. Call me. My number is 210-900-0400. That's 900-0400. Or go to my website at lawyerforus.com.
Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for basketball and hockey this season. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every one-timer and buzzer-beating 3 live and in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Don't miss out. Visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers, plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us, plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Chargers sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Gentlemen, testosterone levels can start dropping in your 30s, leading to low energy, reduced libido, and slower metabolism. Rock's Discount Vitamins is making it easy to take back control. No appointments and no prescriptions. Just head into a Rock's and walk out with a natural solution tailored to you. Our powerful line of natural testosterone boosters can help increase energy, build muscle, rev up your metabolism, and reignite your drive. You'll feel the difference and fast. Visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com. We thank God in South Texas.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Everybody, back your body right. Back streets back. All right. Yeah, Joe.
Wow.
Backstreet's
Backstreet Boys.
back. Woo. Oh my God, we're back again.
See? He knows the lyrics
Brother,
to everything.
sister, everybody singing.
Dude, he really does. You way too much time. You got to find a hobby, AJ.
Got a question for you. Better ask it now.
I think that was the hobby right there.
Maybe that is it. Yeah.
He knows everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Am I sexual?
Yeah, we go through this every morning. Yeah.
Am I everything you need? You better rock your body now. Everybody.
Dude, I don't blame Rob for taking multiple days off. Jeez, if I had to listen to this, I'd do the same thing.
Big news, Joe. The Backstreet Boys will become the first pop act to perform at the Sphere in Las Vegas.
Oh, wow.
Imagine this.
Oh, wow.
Just being immersed by the whole building in Backstreetisms.
Wow.
Oh, my God. Have you been to the Sphere yet, Joe?
I have not been to the Sphere. I've got to go, man. I'm looking for, but I want to see a good show. It's not going to be the Backstreet Boys, but somebody needs to. I think the Eagles were there. That one, I'm sorry I missed. That would have been good.
The Eagles were there. I saw U2 there.
U2, yeah.
I almost got in a fight at the U2 concert.
That surprises me not at all.
Some old man told me to keep it down because I was talking during the show, which I was like, dude, we're at a rock show.
We're not in the December.
And I was like, he was with his wife. I was like, are you really trying to get beat up in front of your wife over a U2 con? You better settle down, old man.
Yeah.
I had a couple beers in me, and I can get feisty. Plus, I'd done hallucinogens before I went into the Sphere, so I was like, I wanted to be immersed.
Yeah, I've seen AJ in action after a couple of beers, so
yeah, I punch people.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
I'm a brawler. The Backstreet Boys, the tour will kick off February 12th.
Nice.
It says we're heading into the millennium once again. Oh, actually, it starts. They announced it February 12th. It starts in July. They hadn't told us where the thing was going to be, but now we know it's going to be at the Sphere. So now it's been the Eagles, U2, the Grateful Dead, and now the Backstreet Boys. That's the big residencies that have been at the Sphere so far. So, Joe, maybe we should go. Let's take the wives and go up and have a party, man.
Well, I'm not sure about the Backstreet Boys, but I mean, if that's all I got. That's all I got. Why not? I saw the Beach Boys not too long ago at the Majestic Theater, and that turned out to be pretty good.
Well, think about that. Now, the Beach Boys at the Majestic, that's fun. But now imagine if the Majestic was part of the show. Imagine the whole theater. And it felt like it's all around you. Everybody, Backstreet's back. I want it that way.
It's not a...
Tell me why. Tell me why.
It's not a tribute band. Are you not going to get
this
disappointed?
Is the real deal.
It's the
Bubba.
real deal? All right.
It's the real deal. Speaking of 90s musicians, the rock band Stained. They had some big hits. They did It's Been a While. What else did they? They had a bunch of big hits actually.
I'll take your word for it. Yeah.
You've never heard Aaron Lewis is the singer of that band.
Yeah.
Play some Stained. I bet Joe recognizes this music. But the guitar player from that band is saying that despite having sold $6 million records, the band has made no money off of their record sales ever.
Well, drugs aren't cheap.
Well,
right?
it's more about
even.
It's more about the royalties from these record companies. These are predatory practices by these record labels. And he says, in fact, we still owe Atlantic Record money somehow. Like all of their money comes from touring. And their singer is he decided he wanted to be a country singer. So he leaves the band randomly and runs around doing country music, and the rest of the guys are like, "Hey, man, we're trying to make some bucks here. You know, the record label don't pay us a damn thing. We need to get some money." You remember this, Joe?
You hear that from a lot of artists that the record companies screw them.
Well, NWA.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're a big NWA fan, Joe.
Well, at least I know who they are.
That's
for
right.
Sure. Yeah.
This is a slow dancing song, Joe.
Yeah.
And everything I can't remember. Oh,
yeah, I
sing
remember
it,
this
Vic.
song.
Yeah, I knew you remember this.
Yeah.
Imagine they didn't make any money off this song. That's not right.
It's unreal.
It's not right, damn it. All right, outside of the world of entertainment, there's some wild stuff going on in the world today, friends. Some shocking stuff. A mom, do you like Jell-O shots, Joe? Are you a Jell-O shots guy?
Yeah, on occasion. I'm not. It's not a every time I go out thing, but but every now and then, sure.
Well, Teresa Isabel Bernal of Tyler, Texas, she brought some Jell-O shots to a party.
All right.
And normally you'd say, "Oh, that's cool. That's
nice of her." Yeah,
that is nice of her. Except it was an elementary school party.
And what's wrong with that?
You're not supposed to bring Jell-O shots to a Christmas party at an elementary school.
Not even for the teacher?
No.
Oh, it's for the students.
Yeah, she brought them to a classroom.
Oh, wow.
She told now Bernal said the officer told the Jell-O came from a small sweet shops that is run from a private home. She said she brought them for her daughter's 5th grade Christmas party, but she didn't know that there was alcohol in them. She thought that they just made little cute cups of Jell-O. She only noticed the Jell-O was spiked after the children had eaten some and started to stumble around the room.
Wow.
Well, they got to grow up sometime, you know? I mean,
police said nearly all of the kids reported having stomach aches and headaches, with one boy saying he threw up twice that day and another claiming he passed out after eating 6 of them. First of all, fatty, maybe slow down on the Jell-O cups.
I know.
Like, let's, maybe you passed out because his blood sugar, right, Vic? You can't have that much Jell-O.
Oh, no, at all. No.
Come on.
Well, then they started having cravings for Jack in the Box tacos, and so you knew they were drunk.
They're like, is there a White Castle around somewhere?
White Castle.
I said that joke is lost here. They don't have White Castle here.
Yeah, no White Castle here.
No.
Yeah.
But Jack in the Box tacos is drunk food.
Oh, that's
absolutely
gross.
Yeah.
It's really
that's
good.
disgusting.
I love it.
I hate Jack in the Box tacos.
Dude, Jack in the Box tacos are great.
I can eat about 100 of them.
That's why you throw up.
Yeah, that's why I have diabetes.
That's not good for your body. That's why you're always in the bathroom.
I know.
Vic. Vic's bowels are an absolute mess.
Because it's Jack in the Box.
Hey, who do they like when you go to prison? What's the worst thing you can be when you show up at prison?
The bottom.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Or
it seems like being like a child predator is like the worst.
Oh, yeah, that's the number one.
Oh,
And I
okay,
think
I see what
actually
you're
being
saying.
a child predator is number 2.
Okay.
Being number 1, being a child predator who is also a police officer, that's the worst thing you can be when you show up day 1 at prison.
That's double power right there.
And that's what this fella just caught 21 years in prison.
Wow.
A former police officer pled guilty to sexually assaulting a middle school student.
Gee.
21 years. I think that he is going to be very, very popular at prison. I
He
think
won't last a week.
I don't think things are going to go well for him. He was a school resource officer, and he took advantage of one of the young boys at the middle school, and is now headed to prison.
And will be taken advantage of.
Yeah, you will.
I would imagine someone is going to take advantage of his resources, and yeah, this is not going to be good for him. Not going to be good for him. Again, that's probably is that the worst combo?
That's the cop child predator. Yeah.
That's the worst combo. I think
that's the worst combo. They don't like rapists either too much, right?
Well, I mean, he raped a kid. He's a cop who raped a kid. That's like the trifecta. That's the trifecta. I believe so. Now, if he maybe if he had also snitched on his buddy, that would make it worse. But yeah, there's a lot of bad things going for this fella.
A rapist, a snitch, a cop.
He could be all. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, that's bad. All
now,
of those things.
Finally, the story of the day here, Joe.
All right.
In Seattle, Washington. It is it's a wild place, Seattle. My wife is from the Pacific Northwest, and they do things different up there.
They do.
A group of homeowners in Seattle is suing the city. They are alleging that their elected officials have knowingly allowed a park to become a, quote, regional venue for criminal and uncivil behavior. The homeowners are saying that the park has become a haven for people who enjoy masturbating in public. And
there's a club for that?
There's a park. There's a city park that is basically the city. Like normally in Texas, if there's a bunch of dudes whacking it in a park, like our cops are going to go down and shut that down. Like, hey, Bubba.
Everybody in Texas is armed. You're going to get shot.
We don't whack it in city parks. You're going to have to go.
Yeah.
And probably take them to jail. Well, what Seattle is doing, Seattle's decided the best way to handle this public masturbation problem is to invest taxpayer money into a public masturbation deterrent infrastructure.
Deterrent,
it's basically it's like an area where these guys can masturbate and no one will be able to see.
Jeez, I wouldn't waste money on that.
It's like a masturbation pod. Like it's a
is
good.
Is it one at a time, or is this a group activity?
Yeah, is it a porta potty looking thing? Or,
no, it seems to be like a
bathroom at a park.
It's kind of like a bathroom.
Yeah,
it seems like it's like it's so that way we're not going to stop these guys from whacking it, but we're gonna make it where nobody can see.
So if you're walking by and you see a sign on that says masturbation here or masturbate here, is that what happens?
I think they're I think that what they're doing is they're giving these perverts the option to masturbate in a place where less people can see it. But the thing about perverts is they really like to do this in front of people.
Right.
That's part of the pleasure for them.
That's the
well, AJ, you haven't been here long enough, but that happens in the public parks here in San Antonio all the time.
What?
Oh, are you kidding me?
What parks am I allowed to do that?
Well, I'm not sure the names of them. We had a deal way back at the way back when I first started on TV. It was a series called Perverts in the Park.
Oh,
and guys would meet up in the bathrooms and they wouldn't satisfy themselves. They would satisfy each other. And that was caught on tape, and it was a whole series that one of the reporters did.
In 2023 at this park, at this park in Seattle in 2023, they said, you know what? Here's what we'll do to deter some of this is we'll build a playground. That way, if these guys start whacking it around the playground, then they're going to prison. Like then they get like they'd have to register on the sex offender list and even the biggest perverts don't want to do that.
Right.
But guess what? The LGBT or LGBTQ community said,
I don't know.
You're purposely trying to displace the queer community by building this this playground. So the city said, you know what? Scrap the playground idea. No playground. So now these guys are just whacking it all over the place.
Free for all down there.
Yeah. And even some of the people who live around the park, like one of the guys gives a quote like, I'm a gay man and I've lived near this park most of my life. This has nothing to do with being gay or not gay. It's just asking the city to enforce laws that, to get rid of illegal activity and lewd behavior. And not even like these gay guys are like this. It's too much, this public masturbation.
But nobody wants to see that.
Nobody does.
Nobody.
I
don't care who you are. or what persuasion you are. You don't want to see somebody servicing themselves in a public park.
No. A neighbor called to report a man that had been doing that, and she had seen him doing it publicly 15 times over the last couple of years.
Well, his prostate's clean.
Yeah, he's taking care of business.
Yeah.
But the park has become a, quote, regional destination for public masturbation, public sex, and other types of indecent exposure, and many other violations of the law. So these homeowners are now accusing the city of enabling and maintaining a public nuisance.
Wow.
So we will see. We will see what happens, what the mayor does about this. Now,
I thought anything goes in Seattle, right? I mean, I think you do just whatever you want.
It is what you call an unofficial nude park. I mean, and they say like there are allowed to be nude parks under state law. We have a right to be nude at parks. That's what but it says you're allowed to be nude, but you're not allowed to commit lewd acts once you get nude.
So once you're nude,
you can walk around naked, I guess.
Yeah. What's the point?
That's kind of when I get naked,
something's gonna happen.
I'm either gonna shower or I'm looking to do a lewd activity.
Yeah. Right, exactly.
Or streak.
Well, that would be but if you're allowed to be, you can't streak in a place you're allowed to be nude. So that's like saying I'm streaking in my own bathroom. No, you're allowed to be nude there. So if this park is if it's a safe place to be nude, you can, but you just have to refrain from doing lewd activities.
Wow.
Or that means no touching it, no having someone else touch it.
Yeah, but I mean, that's hard to do.
It is hard,
right?
Very, very hard.
Yeah,
it can be. All
Apparently.
right, let's hit our last break of the day. We're going to come back. We're going to take a look at the daily lines. That's what we do to wrap up our show every day, Joe. We're going to see if we can make some money in Vegas today. It is
All
the
right,
Morning Huddle.
Let's do that
On 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
SoFi Personal Loan is here to help you achieve something once thought impossible: overcoming high-interest credit card debt. Walk the tightrope of your finances with one low, fixed-rate monthly payment, no fees required, and as soon as the same-day funding. That's right. Pull off your own debt-defying stunt with a SoFi Personal Loan. Visit SoFi.com/trick to learn more. Loans originated by SoFi Bank, N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891.
Gomez Law Firm has been fighting for the rights of San Antonians for 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here. What is something you see often as a personal injury attorney and protecting your clients?
The one thing we always see without fault in a case is that the insurance company will always reach out to them soon after the collision, and they try to get them to agree to a low settlement. They try to get them to agree to signing a piece of paper. They want them essentially to sign their rights away without ever even consulting with an attorney, right? In the grand scheme of things, if you sign a piece of paper, you're signing your future interest away. So that's why it's so important to call the Gomez Law Firm, because we make sure we protect your rights, and you're not signing your life away. You're not signing your rights away.
If you or your family have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, then call the Gomez Law Firm first. 210-736-4040 or visit joegomezlaw.com. Protect your family and protect your rights.
And remember, Gomez Law fights.
I hope you did wash yourself clean underneath a Connecticut water softened shower. If you did, carry on about your day. You're doing things right. For the rest of those out there that might not have a Connecticut, maybe invested poorly, or maybe don't have one at all, I want you to listen real close. For those of you unaware, Connecticut has been around San Antonio for years. As long as I've been a homeowner, and that's been through 2 centuries, I've had a Connecticut water softener, and I don't see any change ever coming, because they have taken care of me and done everything they said they were going to do from the moment we began doing business. Connecticut's made in the United States. They've got the awards to prove the quality of merchandise. That goes without saying. If you talk to your neighbors, they'll talk about the longevity. I've got a warranty on mine I've never actually used. Connecticut is by far the softener you need in this side of the world. Now, some things you need to know. Now's the time to go and get involved with Connecticut. Write this number down first, 656-PURE, P-U-R-E. If it's time for a new water softener, call them today. There's money in your old water softener. There's some trade-in value there. They'll pay you for it, up to $400. If you're ready to go ahead and get involved, there are great financing rates going on right now, 0% and all that. If you need some convincing, if you'll call 656-PURE today, Connecticut will come out and put the water softener in your home for 90 days so you see what we're talking about. And if you decide it's not what I said it is, or it's not what you wanted, 90 days they're going to come get it and you'll never spend a penny. But once you decide, and I'm sure you will, there's a little bit extra there. If you go ahead and purchase within the next 90 days, you're going to walk away with one of those reverse osmosis drinking stations up on your sink, one of those things that replaces all the water bottles. Make sure you got ready access to pure, perfect water for the dog bowl, for your coffee cup, wherever it might be, right there on the sink. And that's just a little bit added value. I had to pay for it. You'll get it for free. The number you need is 656-PURE. If you need more details, and I know I would, go to KineticoSA.com for all the deets. But listen close. There's never been a better time to get a Kinetico, the best water softener for your most important investment, your home. Call them today, and I know you'll come on by and thank me later.
I can't sleep.
What is it now?
It's the company. It's chaos.
What's chaos now?
The numbers, the expenses, the books. What if we get audited?
No one's going to audit you at 3 a.m. Go to sleep.
I can't sleep.
You could if you used Ramp.
Who said that?
I don't care because they're right. Go to sleep and sign up for Ramp in the morning, Jerry.
Ramp is the corporate card that handles all your tedious financial operations automatically, integrates directly with your ERP, and gives you complete control over every transaction. Ramp gives you everything you need for bulletproof books and a better night's sleep.
Wow, that is exactly what my company needs.
Yes, and exactly what I also need. Go to sleep, Jerry.
Upgrade to Ramp for free today and get $250 at ramp.com/radio. Ramp.com/radio. That's ramp.com/radio.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
The sports calendar is heating up, and with ESPN Bet Sportsbook, you can go from checking news to stats to placing bets in a couple of taps. Stream games, bet live, and get exclusive offers when you link your ESPN account. Right now, you can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Whether you're shaping up a small yard or tackling serious acreage, Steel walk-behind, zero-turn, and stand-on mowers are built to get the job done. Shop online or at your local Steel dealer. Steel. Let's go mow.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
John always listens to his truck. So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone, where a helpful AutoZoner gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool. Restrictions apply.
There's a reason Intuitive Services Group handles our janitorial needs here at 94.1. They're local and serious about cleanliness. From nightly cleaning to detailed floor care, they deliver. We trust them, and you can too. Call Mo at 830-470-3007. That's 830-470-3007.
If you missed the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you missed this.
I was on my way to Schlotsky's for lunch on Pear and Vital, but the line was out the door. So the hot dog place is right next to it. So and they got good dogs. So grab a dog for lunch, and they had a hat there that had Joe Reinagel written all over it. Took a picture of it. Like, Reinagel's going to want this hat. It says, I love wieners.
That's what it says.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1. San Antonio's Sports Star.
This is Jason Minix. You're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Whatever you like. Joe can have whatever he likes. Yay. Yeah. Joe Reinagel, appreciate you, buddy. Sitting in on a Thursday on draft day, 9 hours, 15 minutes, and 21 seconds from the draft.
Almost.
I couldn't have done it without you, Joe. What a man you are.
Well, it's been fun, AJ. Some of it, anyway.
Yeah, and you really liked the singing parts, didn't you? That's what it is.
That's it.
That's right.
My favorite. Yes.
I knew you would like that. All right. Well, we wrap up the show the same way every day. Let's go ahead and do it. We take a look at the daily lines.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the daily lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You covered! Yeah!
The New York Knickerbockers head to Detroit to take on the Pistons. The Pistons, 1-point dogs at home. I like the Pistons to get the job done tonight, friends. I think Pistons win the game tonight against the Knicks. What do you think, Joe?
I agree with you. I like Detroit to win this game tonight, and especially if they're getting points at home. The Knicks, to me, are overrated, and they always tend to let you down. Tonight's no exception. Give me Detroit.
Oklahoma City takes their show on the road to Memphis, where you can get in for $8. The big question is, will the Thunder win by double digits? Oklahoma City minus 9.5 at Memphis. Remember the last game, Memphis kept it close for about a quarter and a half, maybe 2 quarters.
Yeah.
And then the Thunder ran away from them. I kind of have a hard time seeing anything different happening here. I just think at the end of the day, the Thunder are going to win by 12, 13 points. I just think they're that much better than the Grizzlies.
Memphis is a train wreck. They really are. I think they're going to be at home. I think their fans will show up. Been to Memphis for a playoff game, and the fans are pretty good, but nobody believes in this, and Oklahoma City's too good. I'd probably stay away from that one, AJ, to be honest with you, but if I was going to take it, I'd take OKC.
The Nuggies travel to L.A. The Clippers, 5-point favorites at home. Remember, the Clippers were favored at both games in Denver.
Yeah.
So the market seems to think the Clippers are the better team here. 5 feels like a lot in a series that the games have been pretty tight so far. I think the Clippers win, but catching 2 possessions, I kind of like the Nuggets against the number here.
How could you not? I mean, both of these games so far have been close, right down to the wire. I have no reason to believe tonight's not going to be the same thing. Give me Denver and the points.
Joe, are you a hockey man?
No.
I love playoff hockey. I really do, and it's in full swing too. The Tampa Bay Lightning host the Florida Panthers. The Lightning are minus 120. The Maple Leafs are at Ottawa. They went to overtime the other day. Their goalie, the Maple Leafs goalie, like kicked the dude's ass. Like the guy was getting his business, and the goalie just shoulder checked him to the ground.
Nice.
Looked like a tank. The Senators minus 130 at home. This is going to be a great game. The Golden Knights, stupid Knights, got their ass kicked in game 2. It was embarrassing. Oh my God. I stayed up till 10 o'clock. I was all excited. I'm going to watch the game. First period, it was 3-0. I said, I'm going to bed. Screw these losers. They'll try to bounce back tonight. They are minus 160 on the road in Minnesota. And the Winnipeg Jets, minus 120 at the St. Louis Blues. The Major League Baseball world, it's a shortish slate today. We got some day baseball, though. The we've got day White Sox game. I don't know if we call it baseball. But the White Sox are playing a game today similar to baseball. Shane Smith goes for the White Sox. He's actually been a bright spot for the White Sox, despite not having won a game yet. They are at least minimizing damage when he pitches. They just still can't score. Today he'll go up against Chris Paddock and the Twins. The Twins are minus 225. I'm going to look at the under 8. I'm going to say Shane Smith does his job for the White Sox and at least holds them to like 6 runs, and then the Twins scores, or the White Sox scores 0 probably. So give me
the Twins aren't very good either, though.
Right.
That's the problem. So that's a bad baseball game right there.
It really is bad. But give me under 8. I think this is a sloppy, ugly game. Brian Woo for the Seattle Mariners takes on Garrett Crochet and the Boston Red Sox. The Red Sox minus 185. I actually like that number on the Red Sox. I think that they bounced back after losing yesterday. And Garrett Crochet has been one of the filthiest pitchers in the league so far this year. Herman Marquez goes against Cole Reagans. The Rockies are at Kansas City. Reagans and the Royals minus 270. That's a crazy number on the Kansas City Royals, but who wants to bet on the Rockies? No one. Tobias Myers goes for the Brewers. They're at the Giants. Landon Roop goes for the Giants. Giants minus 150. The second game of the doubleheader between the Rockies and the Royals, Chase Dollander and Michael Lorenzen. That one, the Royals are only minus 200. So minus 270 in the first game, minus 200 in the second game. Maybe a little Royals parlay. Royals sweep the day, and you can make a little money that way. And then the Orioles are at the Nationals. Cade Povich goes for the Orioles. Mackenzie Gore for the Nationals. That's a pick 'em. Carmen Mlodzinski, the worst name in baseball possibly. Mlodzinski. What a terrible, like.
What's his name? Carmen?
Carmen Mlodzinski. MLOD
and then they named him
ZINSKI.
Carmen.
Yeah, like that dude got beat up at school all the time.
Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
Tyler Anderson goes for the Angels. The Angels minus 150 because no one expects Carmen Mlodzinski to be a winner. Drew Rasmussen and the Rays go to Arizona. They're taking on Corbin Burns and the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks are minus 135. Here's a little secret, though. I'm going to be on the Rays plus 115 today. Corbin Burns, who you may know as former Cy Young Award winner, once a good pitcher. Here's the secret. Corbin Burns kind of sucks this year. So you can I got the Rays as dogs. I'm going to go with the Rays plus 115 on the comeback. And the Texas Rangers send Jacob deGrom to the hill. Much like Kawhi Leonard, Jacob deGrom is good until he physically falls apart. So far, he's still out there chucking it. Minus 150 at the Sacramento A's. JT Ginn or Gin, I don't know. I think it's Ginn because there's two N's. It'd be cooler if it was Gin going for the Athletics. They're plus 125 on the comeback.
So how's that stadium going there in Vegas for the
I don't even
Sacramento A's?
I don't think they've done any work on it yet. I would imagine.
Wow.
I don't think they've gotten really anything cooking with it yet. I think they're way behind on that bad boy. It's gonna be a little while, I think, before it even starts to resemble a baseball stadium. Couple draft props type things. Maybe you're interested in the Dallas Cowboys. The odds of them drafting offensive line, wide receiver, or running back. That's actually the only three positions listed as with available lines. The favorite is wide receiver at minus 200, running back plus 350, offensive lineman plus 325. So it looks like the market believes it's going to be a it is going
but
to
you
be
can
a
throw
wide
some
receiver.
money down on an offensive lineman. Might not be a bad pick.
I don't think it's a bad call. I'd be interested in that. I think that it makes perfect sense, actually, for the Cowboys to do. But the thing is, when you start to really talk about the Cowboys, sometimes the thing that makes the most sense is the dumbest thing. So we should maybe not expect them to do the thing that makes the most sense.
It's the Dallas Cowboys. I would expect that.
Okay, here's a more detailed. A different book has more options available. They've got wide receiver minus 230, offensive line plus 280, running back 10-1, defensive line or edge rusher 11-1, cornerback 13-1, tight end 22-1. They do always take a tight end. It wouldn't shock me. I mean,
not in the first
really
round, though.
dumb.
Always the second round.
Yeah, that's true. Linebacker 22-1, quarterback 55-1, just in case. And if you think the Cowboys are going to totally go off their rocker, kicker, punter, or long snapper, 250-1. If something's 250-1, you have to put $10 on it.
Why not?
That's Joe Reinagle. You can hear him. They'll be You guys are going to talk more draft, I suppose, at the Roo Pub today. They'll be at the Roo Pub talking draft, crushing beers, eating wings, just living their best life up there at the Roo Pub from 2 to 6. Joe, thank you, man. We'll see you guys later.
Thanks, AJ.
From the San Antonio Sports Star Studios, sponsored by George Salinas Injury Lawyers. This is KTFM Floresville.
The John Clay Wolf Show. Here's what's going